April on Virgin Media Play and Virgin Media One.
The women can catch live coverage of that game at 4:30 across on Virgin Media Play and here with us on Virgin Media 2. Now though, Friday night football and we're live to Drogheda, where they're home to Shelbourne.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
It's the table toppers against the champions. This one has all the makings of a good Friday. Kevin Doherty's Drogheda United are still sitting pretty at the top after the first round of fixtures in the Premier Division. They've only been beaten once this season and have already got one over Shells on their own patch. Shelbourne come bouncing into this one after a big Dublin derby win over Bows last weekend. Nipo Odubeko, the hero at Tulloch Park last Friday night. He's been rewarded with a start here tonight. Sean Boyd is on the bench. Damien Duff's side are unbeaten since their loss to Drogheda at Tulloch Park last month. It's a first visit to Sullivan and Lambe Park for the Virgin Media cameras for the meeting of the cup holders and the league champions. Kick-off between Drogheda United and Shelbourne is coming up at 7:45. And there's a full round of fixtures in the Premier Division this evening. St Patrick's Athletic face Shamrock Rovers at Richmond Park. Derry City, they're out west to take on Galway United. Bows host Cork City at Dalymount. And Waterford take on Sligo Rovers at the RSC. As always, we'll bring you all the goals from around the grounds before the night is done. So Drogheda still top heading into tonight. Pats and Shamrock Rovers are just a point behind. Shells 2 points off top spot alongside Galway United. As welcome along, so big night at the top of the table ahead. In studio, looking forward to this one, are Keith Tracy and Ian Morris. Lads, you're both very welcome. We saw the table there. Drogheda, Keith, still top after the first round of fixtures. In many ways, are there similarities between them and Shells? With last year, everybody was kind of saying, how long can they keep this up?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's. I think we've reached that point that not an awful lot of people are still giving Drogheda the credit they deserve. A lot of people are saying they will drop out of the top four by the end of the season. I think if they can go and beat Shelbourne tonight on their own patch, and then they've got St Pat's on Monday, if they can pick up 6 to 4 points over the next two games, which is they're very, very capable of doing defensively, extremely strong going forward, very, very good. So I'm sure Kevin Doherty is quietly confident they can pick up 4 to 6 points over the next two games, and if they do that, I think they've thrown themselves into the conversation for title challengers.
Yeah, certainly a chance to make a big statement over the weekend and next weekend, I suppose, as well, Ian. But from Shelbourne's point of view, 2 points off top spot, how do you think Damien Duff will be feeling when he assesses the first round of games?
I think he'll be very happy. They've been really, really good. They've had a couple of injuries. They've had some illness. Obviously, Sean Boyd this week. He's just made the bench today. But he'll be really happy with what he has. And I think the big thing is, since he's been in charge, is the way they've kept adding to the squad, bringing in more quality every year and having 2 players, possibly 3 in every position, where, like they have tonight, they've got injuries, they've got players unavailable. They're still very, very strong. And they'll be confident they can go out here, nick 3 points and hopefully propel themselves to the top of the league. Yeah,
big night ahead around the top of the table. Time to check in with the managers now. We'll hear from Shell's boss Damien Duff in just a moment. First, here's Drogheda United manager Kevin Doherty, who's been speaking to Will Dalton.
You were the only one to get the better of Shelbourne so far this season. Do you expect them to make some changes to their team and the way they approach this game now?
But they have. I've seen it, obviously, and maybe 1 or 2 of those are and I know there's a couple at the back of them for us, but certainly one that we might have expected to play is on the bench. So look, again, Shells will have their plan. They're an excellent side, as I said. People spoke to me about us beating them. It's one game and we beat them 1-0. It won't have a massive relevance on tonight. It's a completely different occasion, completely different night. As I said, even the conditions are completely different. So, but we just have to look after ourselves and let Shells look after themselves.
Might not be the night for free-flowing football. Do you expect conditions to maybe have a bit of an effect on the game?
I'm not sure, because the pitch is excellent, and there's been rain here, up here as well, and all over the country all day. But our pitches, to be fair, is one of the better ones and holds the water or doesn't hold the water well. So no, the ball will be moving around, and so a little bit of breeze might affect it more than the wet pitch. Like, but no, I think it'll be a good game, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And finally, a win would keep you top. Would 3 points be the perfect birthday present to you? It's your birthday tonight.
You're not the first player
players
to say that to me today, I can promise you. But look, 3 points will be the best birthday present, of course. Yeah.
Drogheda, the surprise package of the season so far. They managed to get the better of you last time out. Did you learn much from that game, and has that changed your approach in any way to this one?
Well, obviously there's a slight system change for us. A system that we played probably the last 3-4 weeks, but we certainly didn't play against Drogheda. You give them any oxygen like we did in that game. They scored after, I think, 2 minutes. They'll find a way to hang on. I think you said at the top, they're a surprise package. Calling them a surprise package hints a bit of disrespect. They're a brilliantly drilled team, very dangerous team, very dangerous at home. They've won the FAI Cup. They're top of the table for a reason. If we show any hint of disrespect tonight, it'll be a long night.
Conditions aren't great, but the pitch does look in good shape, doesn't it?
I'm happy with the conditions. I've been here many a time on a dry, sunny night where the pitch ends up bobbly. I have to say the pitch is in great nick, and I'm happy it's raining.
And it's a finally quick one as well then. Unbeaten in 4, it'll be good to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, it's all about momentum. Yeah, happy enough, you'd say, with round 1 to start round 2 tonight, and we have to start strong.
All right, let's get into it then. Ian, you've been taking a look at Drogheda. We heard Damien Duff saying there how well drilled they are. Kevin Doherty, he gets the most out of his players. We were speaking to James Bolger during the week. He used the phrase that the players work like dogs for each other, and it's that has them top of the table.
Yeah, like you referenced James Bolger there, who's been fantastic this year, but he talked about the togetherness of the team. He talked about no egos, and when they attack, they really all want to score. They all want to be around the place. They're looking for second balls, and I think second balls, second phase, third phase, they're always alive. They smell blood when they're attacking. They just always get round it. They're always ready. You see here now, Warren Davis on the shoulder, the last man. He's wanting the ball in. Ryan Brennan gets it in, and then it's a lovely finish. Again, they're up. They're a big team. They hustle and bustle in the box. They're always around. Keeley keeps it alive. They get the ball wide again, but look how many players they have forward in the box. Lovely little 1-2 with Markey from Shane Farrell, and it's a great ball in. And this is great technique from the big man, who also was having a fantastic season for them. But again, set up, pin the team back. Derry struggling to get out. Lovely ball lifted into the box. First attempt, no good. And then look at this, calmness personified on the chest.
When your centre back is finishing like that, you know things are good.
You're onto a good thing when he's doing that. But here, second balls, Warren Davis again. First ball, not onto it. Finishes with it. They couldn't leave without showing this again. Knock Sean Boyd off, little nutmeg, and what a finish this is. Good enough to win any goal of the month or goal of the season contender. But they've just been so aggressive. They get after teams up high at that end of the pitch. Like, if you look, they've only completed 2,000 passes this season as a whole, which is incredible. 27% possession against Derry, beat them 3-1. That's what Drogheda are. They know what they are as a team. They play to their strengths, and they're very hard to break down.
Yeah, let's take a look at Shells then, Keith. They've had a few injuries. I think Ian mentioned at the top of the show, a few injuries, bit of illness in the camp. That's, I think, why Sean Boyd is on the bench today. But they've had to move things around. We've seen Mark Coyle leave midfield and go into defence. But Kerr McInroy has slotted into that Mark Coyle role just seamlessly.
Yeah, he has. He's made it look effortless, and it's not an easy thing to do, to just slot into the Shelbourne team. They're so well drilled. They all work so hard for each other, and a lot of the stuff that Kerr McInroy does, you think, well, that's fairly easy. I'd be able to do that stuff myself. But he reads the game so well. Look at the amount of space he just hovers into here. None of the Drogheda players in his face. This is a good strike. He knows when to take the strike on. He's only 24 years of age, only 9 appearances for Shelbourne, and already Damien Duffy said, look, we're going to give him a new deal. Just signed a new multi-year deal with Shelbourne. It's very, very easy to see why. Passing range, running ability, reading the game. One thing I really like about him, this is he can get the ball out of his feet, he can pick a pass, but the one thing I really like, Amory, is he wins tackles that you don't think he's going to win. It'll be a 60-40, 70-30 tackle, and he will go and win it. This one is brilliant. His first touch, second touch is not great, but when it comes back to him, just look at the composure to sweep this into the top corner with his left foot. So when you've got a player who can run, who can tackle, who can read the game, who can score a goal, can do long-range passing as well, I'm sure Damien Duff is absolutely loving him, given the new deal, and he's already said that he's a perfect fit for this Shelbourne team. And this is what I'm talking about. Twice there, he's not on odds on to win the tackles, but he wins both and just gets Shelbourne on the front foot more often than not.
Yeah, he's been a huge signing for them, Ian. We cannot speak about Mipo Odebeko. His goal last week, he took it brilliantly. With Sean Boyd on the bench, you think that alters the Shell's approach tonight?
Yeah, like Shells, they typically have like a John Martin, a Sean Boyd, a bigger type up top. Mipo was a big boy, big presence, but he's not one of them that's going to fight and battle for everything. He's really clever, plays on the shoulder, will link play, looks to get down the sides, will run all day for him. So you might look at a bit more balls down the side or over the top rather than drilling balls in, hoping to hold on to. But look, I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's going to kick on. That goal last week would have done him the world of good, and he'll be hoping now in the team, score again, keep myself, kick on for the rest of the year.
Yeah, listen, Drogheda have already beaten Shells this year. I think Damien Duff mentioned it there. He said if you give them any oxygen, they scored, I think, after 3 minutes at Tulloch Park, and they know how to defend a lead. The first goal here tonight is crucial.
It is. Other than the opening weekend of the start of the season, Shelbourne's last 8 games have all been decided by the odd goal here or there. They've either won or lost by the odd goal. I think it'll be very, very similar tonight. I think both teams will be set up not to make mistakes, don't mess around with the ball in the middle of the pitch. And what Drogheda do really well, Ian is spot on. They just keep putting the ball into the box. They keep asking questions, and Shelbourne will do that as well. They will get the ball out wide. They will. Caffrey will give you so much width. He'll just keep putting balls into the box. And Odebeko, although he might not get the forced contact, he'll be buzzing around for any second balls or balls that aren't cleared quite correctly. So I think it's going to be a really, really tight game, and this could go either way. I think it's really on a knife edge.
I think as well, Shells have scored 60% of their goals in the first 15 minutes of games. They come out of the traps, they go well. Drogheda will look at that and go, let's just settle this down, get ourselves into the game, let's get them high up the pitch and see can we get some set pieces or balls in the box.
OK, a chance for you at home to have your say then. Our question tonight is, do you think Drogheda United will qualify for Europe? Scan the QR code on the screen right now to cast your vote, and we'll show you the results of that one later on in the programme. But my question to you both now, who's going to win tonight?
I'll go for Drogheda. I think I've been going against them for the first 25% of the season, and today I'm just going to lean with them. I think they've been excellent. The best defence in the league, second best attack, so I'll go with Drogheda.
Ian?
Yeah, I think it'll be a stalemate. I think both teams will be cagey. I think the small pitch up there as well. And
the conditions maybe?
Yeah.
OK. Looks like they're almost set to go then in Drogheda. Plenty to look forward to in this one, we hope. Let's get you over to Sullivan and Lambe Park. Now your commentators tonight are Conan Byrne and first Bernard O'Toole.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Yes, good evening, everybody. It is the surprise league leaders of this season against the surprise league champions of last season. A third meeting this season between Drogheda United and Shelbourne. Shelbourne got the better of Drogheda in the President's Cup final before the league season started, but Drogheda won at Tulloch Park earlier on this season. And this is the second league meeting. Drogheda top of the table after the first quarter of the season. What a start to the season it has been for Kevin Doherty's side. And as you can see, in what is really testing conditions in County Louth, Drogheda will look to continue where they left off in the first quarter of the season. After everybody played everybody else, Drogheda top of the pile, the cup winners of last season, ahead of everybody else, and a really interesting meeting here between the cup winners of last season and the league champions from last season as well. Drogheda have really impressed people on how they've gone about their business this season. They'd love to lay down another marker here. Certainly one of the highlights of their season so far, that 1-0 victory at Tulloch Park. Certainly turned heads when they won just 1 month ago. Bumper crowd, like an awful lot of League of Ireland grounds. This ground has been sold out for quite some time. In around 2,500 is the full capacity here. But Drogheda have sold out their tickets, so too have Shelbourne for the travelling supporters. as we check on the two teams. Well, Drogheda United boss Kevin Doherty names an unchanged team for the third game in a row, fresh from his 2 goals in Derry last week. Conor Keeley starts in defence. He's one of 4 former Shelbourne players in this Drogheda 11. Shane Farrell was at Shelbourne for a portion of last season. Warren Davis was presented with his Goal of the Month award before kick-off for his goal against Shelbourne last month. He is red hot, the striker. He has scored 3 in his last 3 for Drogheda United. That's the 11 Kevin Doherty will hope can get the job done. Lovely shot there of this ground. Our referee is Damien McGrath, who is taking charge of this one. Real noise coming from the home supporters just under our gantry here in the stadium, and super noise as well coming from those travelling Shelbourne supporters. Speaking of Shelbourne, we have a check on their team. Well, Damien Duff makes 2 changes to the side that won last week against Bows. In an ever-changing Shelbourne defence, Sam Bone comes in, Sean Gannon drops to the bench. Shells are still without Paddy Barrett and Tyreek Wilson. Kerr McInroy signed a new contract with the club this week. He starts in midfield. The other change sees Mipo Odebeko, the match winner, off the bench against Bows, start. Sean Boyd has been sick all week. Duff said he had a 1% chance of making the Shelbourne bench. As you can see there, he is on the bench for Shelbourne this evening. They'll hope they can use him at some point, because he has a good record in this fixture. He has scored 7 times in 11 matches against Drogheda United. It is Conan Byrne alongside me. Conan, the conditions not great here, but a really interesting battle ahead.
Yeah, very interesting game. The conditions are fine. I know it's been raining all day. Pitch is perfect for a game of football. I'm really excited for this one. Shells will be obviously out for revenge after their 1-0 defeat to Drogheda at Tulloch Park. And Drogheda, confidence is sky high after back-to-back wins over Derry and Waterford recently, and are aiming to win their 3rd game in a row for the first time in 4 years. Shells, obviously, without Sean Boyd, like you said, Bernard, is a huge issue, as his work rate and tenacity are key attributes to this Shells system. But Mipo Odebeko, after his winner last week, gets the nod, and we'll be hoping to kick on from that for sure.
Well, Mipo Odebeko, a big backing from his manager, in from the start. Sean Boyd is on the bench, as we said, but Odebeko leads that line, and when you look at the work rate that Sean Boyd puts in, an awful lot to go. Kick-off is on the way next.
Once you quit smoking, you realise it's not the friend you thought it was. Quit for 28 days and start taking back control. Find out how at quit.ie.
And we're all set to go. So a big 3 points up for grabs. It will be absolutely massive for Drogheda United if they can get 3 more points that make it play 2-1-2 against the defending champions. And from Shelbourne's point of view, they would love dearly to get 3 points here and continue that momentum following the victory against Bohemians and the positive return in their match against St. Pat's. Mipo Odebeko on the attack straight away. He's got it behind, saved by the goalkeeper. They still haven't cleared it, and eventually it's gone out for a corner. Shelbourne on the front foot right from the off, and perhaps going to get themselves a goal.
Oh, it's unbelievable by Cameron Ledwidge. A great ball in over the top. And Mipo Odebeko, probably just because it's so early on in the game, he's not alert enough just to put the ball away. He tries to tuck inside, and I think it's Conor Keeley on the line that just blocks it away. A huge opportunity for Shells.
Best defence in the league. Drogheda United tested very early on against Shelbourne. They'll be tested once again here. Haven't defended that one terribly well. It's gone over towards that far side. Keeley trying to hold up the Shelbourne attack. It's another Shelbourne corner right in front of the travelling supporters on that far side, and more pressure on that Drogheda United goal.
Shells did mention, and Damien Duff in particular, about starting this game really quickly. And the first 15 minutes, that's what he was talking about. He wants to start all guns blazing, and it's certainly what they've done so far.
Another Shelbourne corner kick, again to put a bit more pressure on that Drogheda United goal. Inside the opening 2 minutes in this game. In it goes, and it's headed over the bar. Just couldn't keep it down. It is an opening though for Shelbourne, and again it was Shells asking questions.
Yeah, it was a great ball in by McInroy. Talked about signing his new contract this week. Certainly high in confidence, and a ball played in for Caffrey, and he surely has to do better from there.
Well, he's been good in front of goal this season. Evan Caffrey, 3 goals in his 9 games so far. Good opportunity there, just couldn't keep that one down. Damien Duff will be very, very happy with the start his side have made here. Dennison just kicks that one long. Shelbourne boot that one away. It's Sam Bowen who's in the centre of that back three, following that change with Sean Gannon on the bench this evening for Shelbourne. Drogheda now clear their lines. Nicely taken down. It's Ryan Brennan, former Shelbourne player, breaking ball. Brennan was not backing out of that one, and again just helps it on its way. Brennan and Norris, the experience of Brennan, and the young Norris, the left-sided player for Shelbourne, coming face to face. Coyle rather read that one really well, but they've stolen it back. There's a flag up. Good persistence there by Markey just to win it back, but just offside was Oluwa.
Yeah, just in terms of shell shape, it's very similar to like we talked about before in terms of last week against Bows, except Coyle now, who was playing centrally in the heart of that defence, has gone back out to play right centre back, and Sam Bowen has come into the middle. It's like for like everywhere else apart from Meepo, who's come in for Sean Boyd. Drogheda similar as ever with their three at the back. Those three players hugely important at both ends of the pitch.
Did mention the Shelbourne injuries, in particular in defence. We do hear that Paddy Barrett and Tyreek Wilson and the likes of John Martin and Daniel Kelly, the pre-season signing from Derry City, are all not too far away as Norris clears that one away. They get it back quickly. It's Lambe helped on to Oluwa, trying to build something now from this right side. There's so many Drogheda players inside that penalty area, and it's safely gathered by Conor Kearns, and the ball played right across from Davis.
Yeah, it's good play down this side by Drogheda. James Norris will be disappointed with his clearance, only falls to Lambe, and Davis probably finds himself a bit out too wide. You want your centre forward in the middle of the goal, and unfortunately his cross comes shot. It's harmless for Conor Kearns.
3 of the 4 league meetings between these two sides last season ended in a draw. Shelbourne won 2-1, of course, on the run-in. It was a big victory when the pressure was on Shells. Won by 2-1 at Tulloch Park. Boyd and Tulloch with the goals. Just a couple of games before what was a really dramatic end to the season for Shelbourne as they ended that 18-year wait for a league title. But Drogheda, as we said, top of the table on merit. Certainly will fancy their chances of getting something here. Dennison just lost his footing. Here's Wood, one over the top for Odebeko. The flag is up on the far side, though. He's got big boots to fill this evening, hasn't he, Cohen? And Odebeko trying to lead that Shelbourne line that Boyd does so well.
That's what I talked about. It's just Sean Boyd. It's just his energy, his tenacity. He puts himself about. Meepo's a different type of player. He's more of a skillful, agile. Loves to get on the end, loves to go in behind, getting on the end of those long balls. Like we saw in the first minute, he could have put Shells 1-0 up. So it's going to be interesting, because his comments last week about not being happy about playing, Damien Duff's put faith in him today. He'll want to repay that.
2-9 for Odebeko this season. Did score against Drogheda in the President's Cup as well. Right now Shelbourne have this long throw to defend. As Drogheda look to put a little bit of pressure on the Shelbourne goal. Again, the conditions not terrible, but certainly slick out there. It's not a great throw, and Shelbourne headed away. They'll have a second attempt, Drogheda, to try and work that one in and put pressure on Shelbourne. Caffrey's done well, though.
What I love about Drogheda, Bernard, is the 3 centre-halves come up for set pieces, corners and throw-ins, probably from the 18-yard line on. But they don't just run back if it breaks down. They stay up for the second phases and the third phases, just in case the ball comes into the box, and they only run back when the ball completely breaks down.
So much to be admired about Drogheda's start of the season. Just 1 loss from their 9 games, quarter of the way through the season. 18 points achieved. This stage last season, they only had 10 points after 9 games. On the attack here, Oluwa trying to find that half a yard. Good pressure by him, and the ball is now safely into the arms of Conor Kearns. 3rd season at Shelbourne. Shelbourne's only ever present last season, the goalkeeper. There is a wind swirling around the ground as well. It's not just the rain that the players have to deal with as well. Hard to believe we're all basking in sunshine in this part of the world just 7 days ago. With a long throw for Shelbourne to try and defend here. They will be under severe pressure. Well, that Shelbourne defence well headed away from now. Long way out. It's panned away by the goalkeeper. It's a lovely shot at the end. Ryan Brennan with the tester.
Yeah, it was a good strike from Ryan, but it was 30-35 yards out. Conor Kearns might have just waited until to see if there was going to be any deflections. Went down late, good palm, put it away. Corner Drogheda.
Well, it is a night for a shot like that. Certainly zipped across the surface and kept the Shelbourne goalkeeper honest. Corner kick now for Drogheda United. Referee just going across. We're set and good to go now. Comes this Drogheda United corner going towards that near post. Norris got his head to that one for Shelbourne. Kane back out wide as Drogheda look to recycle it. Bolger trying to get the half turn if he could. Wasn't getting much joy off Coyle on that occasion. Coyle now back in there under pressure. Got a bit scrappy and Shelbourne clear it to Odebeko. There's a break on the far side where Wood was there. Odebeko couldn't spot him. Drogheda just sending Shelbourne further away from the Drogheda goal. Here's Coyle now. Again, pressure being put on that Shelbourne back three. Kearns takes the touch. Oluwa looking to close him down. Glanced on. Doesn't reach Odebeko. Keeley stepped in. Coyle now with a cushioned header. Ball around the corner. McInroy. Chapman. One of the new additions to Shelbourne this season. A fine season with Sligo Rovers last year. JJ Lunney. Enjoying life and a run in the Shelbourne midfield. Of course, it was McInroy and Coyle for much of the start of the season. Now Coyle going back into that defensive position. Ledwidge, another of the versatile Shelbourne defenders. Owen to Coyle. Ledwidge, that occasion under a little bit of pressure from Markey. Now Bowen. Shelbourne is trying to keep the ball down and build something here. Coyle looks up. Perhaps he's going to go for the diagonal. Chapman was the target. Well defended. It was an important header away by Quinn.
They're the type of balls that Mark Coyle is looking to play, but Andrew Quinn, Conor Keeley and James Bolger, they've been mopping those up all season. In order to get by this Drogheda team, you've got to have to play around them, get balls in behind them to see how they react. A little bit like what Cameron Ledwidge did in the first minute.
Norris and Lunney combined to get it back for Shelbourne. And they've won the free kick to JJ Lunney. So much of Shell's success last year was built off their start to the season. Really impressive, 9 games unbeaten, of course, in the first quarter of the season. They're actually 5 points better off last season than they were this season. Up 3 points here. It's a little bit too eager there by Odebeko. Committed a foul. That's going to be a free kick for Drogheda.
Yeah, that's it. Probably Damien McGrath's easiest decision he'll make this evening. Keep Odebeko just going straight into the back of Andrew Quinn. But again, Shell's trying to play it over the top where they can exploit this Drogheda defence.
Mentioned Drogheda have the best defence in the league this year. No surprise that Shelbourne have the second best defence in the league. They're so good defensively last season. Even more impressive considering the changes that they've had to make in defence with injuries and players coming in and out. Bowen in and Gannon on the bench this evening is just tactical, by the way. Gannon is absolutely fine. Missing him at some point. Ledwidge couldn't head that one away, but Norris did. Chapman. And he tried to find Wood around the corner. Farrell was in the way, the former Shelbourne player. Lambe nicely helps it on. Markey. Oluwa has Lambe in support if he needs him. Drives at that Shelbourne defence. Norris did really well. Tracked him all the way. Made the block. And they get the ball away. Another decision goes against Odebeko. This time for the foul on Farrell. Quinn. Lambe. Markey. Brennan. Ryan Brennan's 221st appearance. Huge experience from the Drogheda United captain. Of course, lifted the FAI Cup last season. Ledwidge did well there, just shielding the ball off Markey.
Yeah, the link-up play between Lambe and Markey has been impressive in this opening 10, 11 minutes of the game. What I like about Lambe is when the ball comes to him, he's already checking over his shoulder for that one-touch pass into the midfield, into that number 10 position where Markey is. And he's instinctively then just tries to get around Norris to try and get the 1-2. It's good play by the right wing back.
It's Keeley under that for Drogheda. Here's JJ Lunney. He's been fouled by Ryan Brennan. Cameron Ledwidge who will take this. Shelbourne have all bar Sam Bone gone forward in this attack. Coyle is rather belatedly just joining the attack at the edge of the penalty area. Sent in long. Odebeko trying to get there. Oh, he controlled it well. Shields it back to Chapman. And just couldn't get that on target. Good play by Odebeko. You would expect Chapman to at least work the goalkeeper from that kind of range.
Yeah, it's definitely they've tried something on the training ground here, because I was wondering, they're not going to just lump it in on those three Drogheda defenders again. And it was Cameron Ledwidge again who just seen Odebeko just coming off his defender, and brilliant first touch to bring it down. And Chapman will be a bit disappointed with his finish, just a bit rushed, lack composure.
Dennison striking that one long. Ledwidge came a long way, didn't win it, but Shelbourne have it back. Norris tries to find Wood. Keeley will clear that away all day long. McInroy, Wood, little swivel, and tries to play the ball just in behind on that far side towards Caffrey. Couldn't find him. Wood will try there again. Shelbourne fans on the far side crying foul. Markey, lovely little bit of play, and Drogheda trying to feed that one forward towards Oluwa. Davis also going across. Again, illustration of the pressure they're putting that Shelbourne defence under. Bone did well.
Oh, he did very well there, and he's only just coming back into the team. You just want to test him in these early parts of the game. And it was first Oluwa and then Davis who came in both sides, and he handled the situation very well.
Those front two for Drogheda will certainly keep that Shelbourne back three honest this evening. As we said, banging form with 3-3. Davis and Oluwa scored a wonderful goal against Bohemians earlier on this season. Another long throw. Well, I say that, doesn't beat the first man. Shelbourne did well. Lunney goes down. He drew the foul. Bolger, and it's going to be a free kick for Shelbourne.
Yeah, the Shells were escaping now on this left-hand side, because it was a great first touch with his chest to get him away from the situation. And Bolger did what he had to do and take him down.
Well, it really is good times on and off the pitch for Drogheda United. They have gone full-time. The manager Kevin Doherty was full-time last season, but the players full-time this year. Certainly has reaped the rewards as they look to continue the momentum they showed, and making sure they won that relegation playoff last year. They won the cup, and upgrade work as well off the pitch here. And this stadium as well, of course, a new stadium is in the pipeline, and get the funding on the last round of government funding for that. But certainly on and off the field, Drogheda doing really good work. Oluwa. Markey. Hit that a little bit too hard, a little bit too eager in the end. Conor Kearns gathers that one easy. Ledwidge. Inside for Lunney. Coyle now, as that back three just spread. Almost making a back four when Lunney joins. Gets on the ball. Chapman, always available. Inside to Lunney once again. McInroy is an option. Here comes McInroy. Plenty of options up ahead as well. Coyle has now joined the attack. Just a heavy touch by Wood. Showed too much of it to Bolger in the end, who read it really well. Markey battling for it. McInroy. Ledwidge now for Shelbourne. Drogheda very deep at the moment. And Shelbourne trying to work it in towards Wood. Got something on it. Odebeko trying to get there. There was an outstretched boot of Conor Keeley who got that one away. Wood, block is made and just booted away by Drogheda. Anywhere will do, because there's a little bit of pressure building there from Shelbourne's point of view. Calmly back to his goalkeeper by Ledwidge, and Kearns hasn't done well there at all. Sends it out for the throw-in.
Just going back to that chance, because Wood looked like he pushed Bolger in the back. Thought it was going to be a free kick, free out, but Damien McGrath didn't give it, and it was headed back across the goal. And Odebeko had just been on his toes a little bit. He could have got in ahead of Keeley. But it was good play from Shelbourne this last couple of minutes.
The latest weather report to deliver you is the rain has slightly eased a little bit. Another long throw-in incoming here. Get the go once again. It's Kane trying to work the angle. It's a big night for Conor Kane, by the way. 200th appearance. Player who made the permanent switch last year, spending the second half of the 2023 season on loan. It's a second spell at Drogheda. Actually, Damien Duff signed him for Shells back in 2022, but he suffered an ankle injury, didn't play much for Shelbourne, moved on to Drogheda. It's been a big part of the Drogheda jigsaw since.
Yeah, he played a few underage games for Pats. I think he started there, and I remember playing against him in a couple of training games, and he was a player that was definitely caught the eye in those early stages of his career.
Yeah, landmark night, as I said, 200 appearance, nothing to be sniffed at right now. Lunney has some defending to do against Oluwa. Oh, he did very well, big and strong. Ledwidge, back he goes to Bowen. McInroy. And now Harry Wood, who has got plenty of space up ahead to drive into this Drogheda half of the field. Caffrey just trying to stay onside. Good delivery by him. In it goes, headed away by Lambe. McInroy, Wood just got away from him with a second touch. Caffrey now gets his body shape right, gets across it. Loads of options in there, including Chapman. He couldn't get it on target. He also couldn't try to cushion header that towards Wood, who was arriving on the scene.
Yeah, I just expect Chapman just to come in and try and head it in. He tries to head it back across goal, possibly to Wood coming in the far post, but there was no one there. Those are the opportunities that Shells would want to take a little bit more, have a shot on target, test Dennison in this early stages of the game.
They might be able to test him from here. Coyle goes short to Lunney. Now Chapman. Shelbourne move it from right to left. And that one towards Wood. It's well defended again. Drogheda, the best defence in the league, and they'll defend balls like that really well most of the night. Bowen. Lunney, time to turn, size up his options, slides it in for Wood, shifts it on to Ledwidge. Shelbourne now getting going forward here. Norris. Ledwidge back to his goalkeeper, Kearns. Now Sam Bowen, player who joined from Maidstone United last summer. 4th league appearance of the season for him. Ledwidge, he's got that wrong, and it's just going to go safely into the arms of Luke Dennison.
Yeah, you just have to be patient in those situations. Norris is just down here on the left-hand side, just do a little 1-2, keep the ball, keep Drogheda moving. JJ Lunney, though, is starting to dictate playing around that centre of the park. Drogheda need to get closer to him.
It's going to be another free kick, maybe a booking here from Bawa to Becco. He's left a little bit on Andrew Quinn as Damien McGrath comes across. Certainly going to be a Drogheda free, and yeah, he's gone to the top pocket. And it's a yellow card for the Shelbourne number 11.
Yeah, he just left a little bit in on Quinn there. I think McGrath made it was an easy decision for him. That's where the petulance comes in from the Shelbourne striker. But just going back to it earlier, what you were talking about in terms of Drogheda going full-time, sometimes that can be very difficult, Bernard, when you're going from a part-time setup to a full-time setup in terms of food you eat, the recovery, all gym, going from a job from 9 to 5 to training and reverting and completely doing a U-turn and going full-time football. It can be difficult, but Drogheda have made it look easy.
Well, they were tipped by many to be a side that would struggle this season. So we've amassed a wonderful amount of points for their opening 9 games, quarter of the way through the season. Keeley under that one. He's always going to win that because Conor Keeley. A little bit of a heavy touch from Farrell. Back he goes. And Drogheda clear their lines. Ledwidge didn't defend that. Oluwa just off the shoulder now, just inside the penalty area. Bones lost his footing. It's a mess for Shelbourne. They just about get it away. And the follow-up shot sees Drogheda take the lead. Well, Shelbourne were all over the place at the back, and Drogheda's superb start to the season shows no signs of stopping. And once again, It's Warren Davis, 4-4 now, and the player who scored the winner in the 1-0 victory at Tulloch Park last month has given Drogheda the lead.
Oh, it's a superb finish by Warren Davis. Oluwa does all the hard work. Ledwidge gets caught underneath it. Poor touch from him allows Oluwa to get by. Sambone slips, and Oluwa has a chance to score himself, but Kearns makes a wonderful save with his right hand. Falls to Davis. Coyle isn't now quick enough, and he's able to turn on it and swivel and put a ball into the bottom corner to put Drogheda 1-0 up. It's a fantastic start.
Well, he was never going to miss from there. He scored in the 4th minute at Tulloch Park last month. Drogheda, what a season this is turning out to be, even at this early junction. Drogheda absolutely flying it. Now Shelbourne are 1-0 down and facing the meanest defence in the league, and the league leaders. They got it behind though. It's spilled. Oh, it was so easy to score, and he's hit it over the bar. What a chance for Shelbourne. What a chance for Mipo Odebeko.
I talked about how you can get in behind this Drogheda defence, and Coyle puts an unbelievable ball in over the top of Kane. Bolger doesn't know whether to come or go. Caffrey just jumps in, and he's able to put a ball across the box. And Odebeko just hesitates slightly on it and puts the ball over the bar.
Shelbourne with a gilt-edged opportunity for an instant response, but the opportunity has been snuffed. Drogheda, top of the league is the message from the supporters just under us here. Brennan to Oluwa, who's got a little bit more joy off Ledwidge. Huge credit for the finish to Davis for tucking it away. So much of the hard work done by Oluwa in that wide position as he just outmuscled Cameron Ledwidge in the build-up to the goal. Sambone losing his footing was unfortunate for Shelbourne, but great work with the Drogheda player out wide. Shelbourne desperate for a response now. Harry Wood has to check his run though. Coyle, McInroy, now Lunney, Odebeko, McInroy. No, that's just a little bit short. He tried to find Caffrey, a little bit too short in the end.
It's a good recovery from Shell since going a goal down. They've been in the ascendancy. I thought Odebeko just had a little bit more composure, a bit more ruthless, like he showed last week at Tulloch Park in his goal against Bohemians, where he just took one touch with his left and buried it with his right. This time it just seemed to lean back and hesitate and put the ball over the bar. It's a really poor miss from his standards.
Well, they have got Sean Boyd on the bench. Certainly would be the kind of opportunity that he would love to take himself. Sean Boyd. Odebeko, as he said, has scored this season in this fixture in the President's Cup. He's come good for Shelbourne just last week against Bohemians. Wood has done really well here. Chapman. Delivery inside the penalty area. There was nobody there though. It was just Odebeko. Bolger defended it well. Lunney. Certainly wasn't the plan from a Shelbourne point of view as Kevin Doherty, the Drogheda United manager, former Shelbourne player and manager as well, looks on. Odebeko will still be thinking about that opportunity he had, how he didn't take the opportunity. Wood skips away from two Drogheda players. Caffrey, Shelbourne have plenty of options inside the penalty area. Caffrey's done really well with the dancing feet. Still going is Caffrey. And in the end, it just narrowed in front of him. And it's safely into the arms of Luke Dennison.
Oh, he's so quick and sharp and nimble down that right-hand side, like he has been shown over the last number of weeks. And he gets by two or three players too easy there from a Drogheda perspective. It's just he took too much out of it, and it was an easy catch for Dennison. But now Drogheda have something to hold on to now, Bernard. And Shells are going to find it very difficult to come back from this, because they're so good at holding on to a lead.
Scored bags of goals this season, Drogheda, but as you said, Conor, it's so hard to break down this defensive unit, it has to be said. And the fact they've gone 1-0 ahead makes it even more difficult for Shelbourne.
Yeah, a lot of talk is about the back three and how solid and compact they are, but I think Ryan Brennan and Shane Farrell sitting just in front, the two defensive midfielders, play such a huge role to this system.
It's only St. Pat's who have scored more goals than Drogheda this season. Best defence in the league, second highest goal scorers, more points than anybody else. And right now, in with a really good opportunity of doing the double over the champions. Bags of times we played, of course, as Shelbourne come forward now. McInroy has to do a little bit of a turn, and he finds his midfield colleague and Lunney. Odebeko, and the route to him was being blocked off, so he has to go wide to Ledwidge, back inside to Lunney again. Shelbourne working the ball hard. Chapman this time uses Norris out wide. Chapman continues his run, but they've gone back to Ledwidge. And again, illustration of how hard it is to break down Drogheda. Shelbourne just patiently going from right to left. Coyle might have a go from here. Just got a bit of space. Coyle has continued his run. Here comes Coyle, lovely run, and a really timely block. He ran and he ran, and he got a shot off in the end of it.
Yeah, nobody came to meet him. I thought he probably should have had a shot from about 20-25 yards when it came to him. Played a great little 1-2 with Harry Wood and tried to get a ball into the box, but good defended by Conor Keeley.
Keeley as excellent as ever. Scored 2 goals last week, but such a big part of this Drogheda United defence as that one is arrowed in towards the near post. Oluwa was back there under it, and he now breaks out to try and close down the Shelbourne player, who was Lunney. Slides it in for Chapman. Shelbourne still have got plenty of players forward. Delivery has to be good. And it's defended at the near post, and Shane Farrell just says, I'm going to boot that one long. Tough conditions, and Davis will chase that one.
Drogheda just have to be careful. That's 3 times now they've just given the ball away needlessly, rather than just try to hold on to it, get themselves up the pitch so that they ease the pressure off themselves.
5th league goal of the season for Warren Davis. Bowen finds himself on this left side. Back inside to Lunney. Wood, McInroy comes inside the centre circle, then finds Bowen, who had gone forward in the attack. Nice little bit of footwork by Bowen to evade 2 Drogheda United players. Norris kept it well here of Shelbourne. McInroy now loops one around the corner towards Odebeko. Goalkeeper just claws it away. Here's Caffrey. Shelbourne wanted the penalty, and it's an equaliser. Wonderful finish by Mark Coyle. Shelbourne level. And for once, Drogheda didn't defend it terribly well, but take nothing away from that finish by the Shelbourne captain. And we're level in Drogheda.
Oh, we talked about he didn't shoot 2-3 minutes ago from the same position. This time, there was no hesitation about what he was going to do. Ball comes to him and he hits an arrow right straight past Dennison's left-hand post. It's a fantastic strike from the Shelbourne captain.
Just when Shelbourne needed a goal, their captain came up with the goods. And after falling behind to that finish by Davis, Coyle levels for Shelbourne.
Again, it's just great work by Caffrey. He could have swung at it like Davis did for his goal. He doesn't. He lays it off to Coyle on the edge of the box. And first time strike, no chance.
Well, he scored a 2-2 draw here in the first meeting between the 2 sides last season, and he has scored once again in this fixture as Mark Coyle. Lovely finish, just what Shelbourne needed. Now it's those travelling supporters on the far side of the ground who are the ones making all the noise, and it has silenced the home supporters. Well, we always wondered how many goals we would get in this fixture, considering how good both these 2 sides have been this season defensively. 2 goals already. And it's been a really interesting watch in the rain in Drogheda.
Yeah, and Shelbourne are doing exactly what I thought they should do, and as they're playing it in behind the three Drogheda centre halves, they're not playing it in front of them, and that makes it much more difficult for them to defend because they have to turn. And these 3 like playing with the ball played out in front of them rather with the ball behind them.
Here's the Shelbourne goal scorer. Coyle over the goal to Ledwidge. Wood. Deep ball deep inside that Drogheda United penalty area. Nobody was ever really going to get on the end of that one.
I know, but it's a great ball, and they're the type of balls that you want to have as a striker running in on. Boyd would have loved it. Wood just whips it in, right in between the goalkeeper and the centre halves. It's a very difficult one to defend. Unfortunately for Shelbourne, was known on the end of it.
Wonderful strike by Mark Coyle to get Shelbourne level. Has slotted into that Shelbourne defence really well. Of course, played so much of his career as a midfielder, so much of his Shelbourne career even as a midfielder. Speaking to the Shelbourne goalkeeper, who was up for media duty this week, Conor Kearns, said he always wants to learn, Mark Coyle, wants to know exactly where he needs to be positionally in that back three. Right now he's in that back three, doing the defensive work, and Shelbourne have won a free kick, but glowing in his praise, the Shelbourne goalkeeper, for his captain and how he's adjusted to life, moving from that central holding midfield position to the back three.
Yeah, it's even adjusting his career as in terms of leaving his job in Letterkenny Hospital as a radiographer to go and play full-time football after getting a call from Damien Duff. It's just so adaptable.
He's one of the short list of Shelbourne captains who have lifted the league title. Here's Cameron Ledwidge, likes of Owen, Heeney, of course, Pat Scully, Mick Neville, some of the Shelbourne players who have lifted the league title. Shelbourne ended their 18-year wait for a league title last year. It is 18 years since Drogheda have won a league. I don't think anybody around here is talking about a league title challenge just yet. Certainly a really good start to the season by Drogheda. Ledwidge hit a little bit further ahead of him than he would have liked. We did well to get it. Now Lunney again. Chapman back to Lunney. McInroy was under pressure from Farrell. Now it's Bone. Wood gone on a bit of a run forward. Nobody spotted him though. Here is Harry Wood, comes inside. McInroy. And now Ledwidge. McInroy again. Coyle, Shelbourne goal scorer. Caffrey. Bowen, very deep now, or Drogheda. Shelbourne coming on with Ledwidge. Just looked, we were right behind that, and just looked like it was going to creep in to that far corner at full stretch. Was Luke Dennison to palm that one away. What a goal that would have been.
Well, we talked about the patience that Shells needed to do in the first opening 10 minutes. They were trying to play it in behind very quickly, but they were very patient in their play there. And it falls to Legends. It's a great strike.
Here comes the corner kick. Drogheda to defend. Chapman couldn't get anything really on that, just to either help it on target or help it on its way towards a teammate.
Yeah, it's difficult, those ones, because when the ball's coming in, you're trying to get a glance on it. You don't want to put too much of your head onto the ball because it could go out for the goal kick so easy. So you try to glance it just doesn't come off as well as he would have liked.
35th minute of a first half has gone by at a really good pace. Warren Davis again with a goal for Drogheda, cancelled out by a lovely strike by the Shelbourne captain Mark Coyle. Two really well worked goals. 1-1 finally poised. Chapman, now it's Shane Farrell. Into feet for Davis. Sizing up his options, here's Oluwa. Back in for Davis once again. Goes back to Lambe. For a season at the club, player signed from Orange County SC in the American second tier. Shelbourne a bit of space on the far side. Here's McInroy, and now Harry Wood. Caffrey, Tulloch going on a run in behind, then had to check his run. Shelbourne come back to Sam Bone. Ledwidge. Lunney. McInroy to Coyle. Back once again to the Scottish midfielder. Lunney. Drogheda right now happy for Shelbourne to have the ball. A little bit of a heavy touch by Chapman, almost presented that to Oluwa. Caffrey had joined the Shelbourne attack there again, didn't reach him, but they're trying a few of those darting runs in behind from the likes of Caffrey and Wood. Hasn't worked just yet. Ledwidge. Chapman. Shelbourne with plenty of the ball here. Ledwidge once again. Good run by him. Tries to help it in towards Odebeko, but a combination of Quinn and Farrell get it away. Davis towards Oluwa. Kearns came a long way, just knees that one out. Safety first from the Shelbourne goalkeeper, who knows it's not a night to make any sort of rash decisions in that kind of position.
That's great positioning by Conor Kearns, because he comes out and he comes out quickly, and he knows the surface of the pitch. He doesn't know what way it's going to come to him, but he gets his whole body behind it and does really well.
Well, the towel is out for Lambe. Certainly is a night for a towel, let's be honest. Just dries up the ball. There's plenty of height now in that penalty area as Lambe throws it in there. Norris under it for Shelbourne, back in from Markey. Shelbourne haven't defended that too well. Coyle just got enough on it to get it away. Norris now facing his own goal. Kearns gets it away. Odebeko doesn't get much joy off Farrell, who was keeping him very well shackled on that occasion.
Yeah, he does well just to hold it up. And he forces Drogheda and Shane Farrell into making throw, and Shells have it now.
Chapman to Norris. Shelbourne with possession right in front of the Drogheda United supporters. Bone. Shelbourne trying to open up play towards that far side. Wood gets away from Farrell. This could be dangerous. Took a nick on the way through. I think was it Brennan that made that block. And now Bolger under pressure from Wood clears it left-footed.
Shells are so good at recycling the ball. If it's up one side, they're so quick to bring it out the other side. And JJ Lunney is like a puppeteer in there. You don't think he's given the ball away once in this opening 38 minutes of the game. Just always scanning, always looking for the next pass. And he's not one of those crabs that just play it side to side. He's always looking for the ball forward as well. I'm probably giving them the commentator's curse now. Probably giving away.
Not at all. Here is JJ Lunney. McInroy. And now Ledwidge. Chapman, left-footed. Oh, went for it! And it's palmed away by the goalkeeper. It wasn't the most difficult save Dennison will have to make. But again, factor in the conditions and the fact he wasn't expecting that. And it's a decent save and a decent spot by Chapman, who just fancied that he might just able to get that one into the top corner.
Yeah, again, he's given far too much time. He said Coyle had an opportunity there where he scored from 20-25 yards out. Nobody comes near him. Again, Chapman, so much time. Draw the players 5-6 yards away. It's a great strike.
It's a free kick. Shelbourne worked hard to get the corner kick and just give away the free kick. 40th minute in this one. Who do you think's the happier of the two managers, Coleman?
I think Damien Duff. I think he'd be happy that the fact that the Shelbourne have come back into the game. I think they have the majority of the possession, majority of the chances. I think just the only worry that I have is, again, the pace of Oluwa down the sides. He's causing a few problems. And I obviously check the boots as well as they're back into dressing room to see if they're appropriate footwear. There's a few people slipping out there.
There's plenty of them. Here's Davis. Farrell. Decent delivery in towards Oluwa. Norris gets it away for now. Still there as Lambe as the effort. It's deflected in. Sam Bowen put it into his own goal. It was the shot by Lambe. And Bowen, who slipped for the first Drogheda goal, has just sliced that past his own goalkeeper. And look at what it means to Drogheda United. Ahead again.
Lambe has been so good in this first half down this right hand side. He takes a little bit of a heavy touch, but he comes onto it like a flash, and he tries to just put his foot across it. And Sam Bowen's just standing in the way. Strike puts out a foot, lazy foot, and it goes easily past Conor Kearns, and Drogheda go 2-1 up. But great play by Drogheda in the last couple of minutes down that left hand side. A whip ball in by Kane. It falls to Lambe, and what a strike.
Well, this is first season, as we said, for Owen Lambe, the American right wing back. It was his strike, and the deflection of the unfortunate Sam Bowen, who was trying to help out and keep it away from goal, and only sent it past his own goalkeeper. But Drogheda ahead again and flying again.
I think Kevin Doherty will be happier than the two managers, Brennan.
Well, it could be a happy birthday for him. We were talking to him on the pitch as he made away across it. He doesn't want too many references to this being his birthday. That's going to be a free kick for Shelbourne. It was Lambe who played his part with the strike for the 2-1 goal, who's given away the free kick here.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He was kind of running into Ryan Brennan. Don't know what he's expecting Ryan Brennan to do there. He stands his ground. But it's a free kick in a dangerous position.
Not too long left in this first half for Shelbourne, trying to get themselves level for the second time. Drogheda's flying start, it has to be said, to this new season shows absolutely no signs of stopping. Really difficult fixtures across this Easter weekend, but so far finding it very straightforward. They're finding this season very straightforward. Shelbourne looking for a lever though. It's Caffrey right-footed. There's Coyle in there again. He was climbing and climbing, just wasn't climbing high enough, couldn't get there from the free kick.
Yeah, again, it's a good ball in by Caffrey, but Coyle was going in, but I don't know who was in behind him that stopped the run. I don't know whether it was Harry Wood. He stopped the run. Just continue on, it could come to you at the back post.
Well, as you can hear, it is the Drogheda United supporters who have got their voice back. We shall not be moved is the latest cry from the Drogheda United supporters, who are absolutely loving the 2025 SSE Electricity League of Ireland Premier Division season. The cup winners from last season that began this season like an absolute train. Farrell gets it back once again, does Farrell. Bowen will be very frustrated with the party ended up playing in the 2 goals. Frustrated that he lost his footing for the first, and unfortunate for the second as well. Referee has called us back here. There's a flag up against Shelbourne, so it's going to be a free kick, which Conor Keeley's ready to take for Drogheda.
Drogheda, previous of doing very well in Premier Division in leagues. I remember back in 2012 when they had a team that was, again, a lot of people had been down for relegation, and they ended up finishing, I think it was second to Sligo Rovers when they won the league in 2012. So who knows, this Drogheda team could do something similar this year.
Well, it does beg the question, at what point do we start talking about Drogheda having a really good season as opposed to just a good start to the season? Kevin Doherty will absolutely pour as much cold water as he can over any talk of this being a season where Drogheda can go up and challenge and finish with some of the heavyweights. But again, as we said at the start, they could take inspiration from tonight's opponents. They certainly weren't expected to challenge last season. Dennison clears that one away. Reminder as well, it's only Shamrock Rovers who have managed to get 3 points against Drogheda United this season. Drogheda also played well on that night as well.
Penalty missed in the last minute as well, Bernard, didn't they? There was a huge opportunity for him to go for the first round unbeaten.
Well, the supporters have the drum out now as well. They're enjoying things. Ledwidge, Shelbourne looking to try and build an attack late in this half. Coyle. Just 1 additional minute to be added on, just kind of as an illustration of just how much the play has flowed in this opening half. Shelbourne patient here. McInroy. Coyle. Ledwidge. Well to trap that. It was neck height at one stage. The delivery isn't good. Didn't reach Odebeko. Keeley clears it away. Time running out for Shelbourne for one final attack. Ledwidge. Oh, this is dangerous. Odebeko. Well, it would have been if he had stayed on side. There's a flag up. Whether it was Odebeko or Wood who was also trying to get in there. Either way, there's a Shelbourne player offside. And that, you feel, maybe that in terms of the first half.
Absolutely. It was a great run by Odebeko. Gets across Keeley well. He might have just went a little bit too early. But it's a great first half by Drogheda. Going in 2-1 after Shell's come back into the game, dominating for that middle part of the half. You would have expected Shells to kick on, but instead it was Drogheda.
Drogheda flying this season and flying here as well. Their superb start to the season shows no signs of stopping whatsoever. Warren Davis, the red-hot Warren Davis, gave them the lead midway through that opening half. The Shelbourne captain Mark Coyle got the champions level. But once again, Drogheda hit the front. Lambe with the effort deflected by the Shelbourne defender Sam Bowen past his own goalkeeper. And at half-time here is the league leaders, the surprise league leaders, who have the advantage against the champions. Analysis in studio on the way, but at half-time here it's Drogheda 2, Shelbourne 1.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Rebel in the capital home. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
When your smoking cravings creep up on you, Nicorette lozenges are clinically proven to start fighting cravings in just 2 minutes with a rapid burst of fresh flavour. You're up to 2 times more likely to quit with Nicorette.
M&S are turning the nation's homes into restaurants once more this Easter. A lovely little place on Hollybrook Close will be serving this M&S slow-cooked bone-in lamb shoulder. Smashed roast potatoes with salsa verde drizzle and a cheesy spring greens bake will be on the menu at Casa Auntie Pearl's. And Shay Mum and Dads will be plating up these honey-roasted carrots with red onion. So, napkins at the ready, because this is not just a dine-in, this is an M&S Easter family dine-in.
At the Irish Independent, we don't just cover sport. We tell the stories written all over Ireland. After all, each struggle, triumph, high and low, leaves a mark that lasts. We live and breathe the stories written all over Ireland. Irish Independent.
There's digging, and then there's super digging. There's food, and then there's Baker's Superfoods, made with selected natural ingredients and tasty chicken. There's food, and then there's Baker's Superfoods. Feed them superfoods for a chance to win a tail-wagging beach getaway.
Welcome to the island of Eriskay. Population 140. Is everyone behind the team? 10% of us are in the team. And if you want to make the most of this pitch, well, that can be difficult. But thanks to Guinness Zero, if you want to make the most of your evening, that's always easy.
Elle, come on, The Last of Us is back. Oh, this is gonna be epic.
This is where we live at. What's outside?
Monsters. Don't you know what he did? You swore.
Whoa, that's intense. If we were in that world, we'd have to pair up like Joel and Ellie. Nah, I'd be flying solo.
Stream The Last of Us without a contract. Now you know.
Full fibre broadband from just €35 a month for 12 months with 99.9% reliability. Now that's smooth. Now available nationwide. Virgin Media. It's playtime.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Well, the rain pouring down in Drogheda, conditions making life difficult for Shells and indeed our cameras. But we've had a few goals at least. Warren Davis, with his 5th of the season, gave Drogheda United the lead. Shells struck back through captain Mark Coyle to level. But after that, a Sam Bowen own goal has Drogheda back in front. It's 2-1 at half-time. Look, it's teeming down out there. It's fair to say maybe Drogheda might be using the conditions to their advantage a little bit better than Shells. Every time they get it, it's going, and it's been a bit more effective.
Yeah, I think they've had a much better thought process. Drogheda, they know exactly what they're doing. They're not messing around with the ball in the middle of the pitch. And look, they're very fortunate to be going ahead going in ahead at the break. Shelbourne have had the better chances, but Drogheda just doing what Drogheda do, and they relinquished the ball. They've only had 25% of the ball in this half. Excuse me, they've got an XG of 0.33. It hasn't been anywhere near convincing, but they just do enough. This is a long ball by Shelbourne. They go and win the first contact. Farrell picks up the second, and that's just one hooked into the channel, and Oluwa knows that's where it's going. So he wins the war of strength with Ledwidge. He wins that. It's a good finish, good save. But Warren Davis there, he's looking to lay it off. There's nobody there, so he just turns and hits it on the swivel. Wonderful, wonderful finish. But I'd have to say, given the chances that Oda Beckham missed in the first 30 seconds of the game, you had another big chance as well. Drogheda will be very, very fortunate to be ahead.
Should Shells be dealing with that a little bit better?
Yeah, I think that they knew what Drogheda are all about. They're going to concede possession, they're going to concede territory on the pitch, they're going to drop deep, and what have they got? They've got big, big pace up top. He's just out muscle, and it's not like I actually thought Oluwa would have been better playing on the opposite side and going 1-to-1 with Coyle, because Ledwidge is rapid and strong, but Oluwa has just brushed him aside there to get down the side, and I don't think you can take away how good the finish was from Davis as well.
Damien Duff has said a few times in the build-up to this one, we can't give Drogheda the first goal. They did, but you'd imagine he'd be pleased with his side's reaction to that. 7 minutes later, Coyle gets them level. Yeah,
they had a good response. They moved the ball quite well, Shells, until they got up in and around the box. And there was a lot of lazy hit and hope crosses. But McInroy does great here. He's clipped one in. I actually think Dennison, he shouldn't come for this. He's got the best header of the ball in there in Conor Keeley, but take nothing away from Mark Coyle's strike. As soon as it's dropped, he had one where he got into the box a little bit earlier in the game and he couldn't get a shot off, but here he just thinks, I'm going to strike this, catches it clean even into the top corner. But Drogheda be kicking themselves a little bit by that, because they sat deep, they conceded possession, they'd headed everything away previously. I think Dennison gets in Keeley's way there.
Neither side have really been shy from shooting from outside the box, as we saw for the Drogheda goal to go ahead, using the conditions again to their advantage. Unlucky for Sam Bone.
Yeah, why not? You should shoot from distance, especially in these sort of conditions. Goalkeepers don't like it. And again, it's very simplistic play from Drogheda. It's a long ball forward. They win the first contact, pick up the second balls, get the ball out wide. Decent ball into the box. Actually quite well defended, but once Lambe picks this up, he just decides, I'm going to put my foot through this, keep the pressure on. And Sam Bone dangles out that leg, takes a big deflection, and in a blink of an eye, it's past Kearns. So again, big element of luck there, but Drogheda doing what Drogheda do, just keeping the ball up, keeping the pressure high, and getting their rewards from it.
Ian Keith referenced the chances that Shells have had, some really good ones for Odebecco. What do you think Damien Duff would be saying to his team in there at half-time? Would he be saying, more of the same, or do you think we might see that change with Sean Boyd coming on?
Yeah, you look at what they're doing. They're dropping Drogheda dropping really deep. They're condensing. They've loads of bodies in and around it. Maybe it's a game. I thought Harry Wood was actually quite good for Shells in the first half, linking the play. Do they need to get a little bit of cleverness around the box? Ali Cook, do they bring on someone that is good in tight areas, can wriggle around, get shots off? Maybe that's the approach, because you've seen from Drogheda this year, best defence in the league. Great, the three boys are brilliant there. Farrell and Brennan mop up in front. Do they need to try and change something different? Meepo might be struggling now in his head. He's got booked already, missed 2 glorious chances. Is he going to give Sean Boyd a nudge and say, you're all right for 45 or at least 30 minutes? I think he'll make changes quite early, if not at half-time.
Yeah, look, we'll have to wait and see. We've a quick break to take. The second half is on the way. Will we see Sean Boyd? One thing we can hope for is that conditions improve in Drogheda for the second half.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
It's a miracle! Hands-free Skechers slip-in sandals. Light, comfy sandals I never have to touch or bend down to put on. The secret is the exclusive heel strap that guides my foot into place. Then the special heel pillow keeps my foot comfy and secure. Try Skechers slip-in sandals.
On May 10th,
Join Pieta and Electric Ireland for Darkness into Light. By the time the sun rises, we'll each have walked about 5,000 steps. But you can take the first and most important step right now to help stop suicide, simply by signing up. Together, we can bring hope and raise funds for Pieta's life-saving services. But don't just show up, sign up at darknessintolight.ie.
Welcome to the island of Eriskay. Population 140. Is everyone behind the team? 10% of us are in the team. And if you want to make the most of this pitch, well, that can be difficult. But thanks to Guinness Zero, if you want to make the most of your evening, that's always easy.
You can hide an Easter egg online for someone you love, somewhere special to both of you. Anywhere in the world. Just give them a clue of where to look. Hide an egg somewhere only they know. Search online for the Cadbury Worldwide Hide.
Oh, not winning at Friday night, are we? Bang bang, bird's eye.
Wow, legend.
Now, get a load of this. For chicken bursting with flavour, try our new loaded burgers. The Chicken Shop from Bird's Eye.
Curious fact, raccoons can see in the dark without blinding other raccoons. Be more raccoon with the LED matrix headlights of the new Elrock. Be more Elrock.
Skoda. Do you have painful feet deformed by a hallux valgus? Try the Epitact Flexible Bunion Corrector. It straightens your foot and eases rubbing thanks to the Epithelium Flex. Extra thin, it fits any shoe. Epitact, foot care is our speciality. And simply to protect your bunion, choose the Epitact Bunion Protector.
My name is Christy and I work in the Hunky Dory's factory, crinkling the crisps. Some people are born with gifts.
Where's your crinkles, you flavour maniac?
I was born with the gift of crinkling. Don't make me get that wooden spoon. Come on.
You big cheesy legends.
It's not even a job to me, you know.
I love you.
I'd come in here for free. As me outfit always said, go Hunky Dory's or go home. You know what I mean?
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Okay, lots to look forward to over the next couple of weeks in the League of Ireland. Easter Monday, we're at Tallaght Stadium for the big one between Rovers and Bows. An earlier kick-off in that one. We are on air from 1:30. And next Friday, we are back at Tallaght again for the meeting of Rovers and Shells. And we are kicking off the May Bank Holiday weekend in Sligo. Drogheda United, the visitors for that one. Okay, let's check in at Richmond Park where Pats are taking on Shamrock Rovers. It's currently all square. Mason Melia gave Pats the lead, but shortly after, Jack Byrne equalised for Rovers. He was the quickest to react after Graham Burke's shot had been saved. It is 1-1 there at the break. Here's how the rest of the scores are looking at half-time. It's goalless at Dalymount Park, a big game there between Bows and Cork City. In our game, of course, it is 2-1 to Drogheda United. It is all square. Out west between Galway and Derry City, as we said, 1-1 at Richmond Park between St Pat's and Shamrock Rovers, and a big half-time score from the RSC Sligo Rovers, 2-0 up against Waterford. Keith Long's side looking on the verge of a 6th straight league defeat. But so far at a rainy Sullivan and Lambe Park, it is Drogheda United who have a 2-1 lead over the champion Shelbourne. We asked you before the match, will Drogheda United finish in the top 4? Here are the live results of our poll. 61% of you said yes, they do give Kevin Doherty's side a chance of finishing in the top 4, with 39% saying no. What do Drogheda United do here then, Keith? They already have the experience of going ahead against Shelbourne this season and sitting back. Do you think that's where they're most comfortable?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're probably the best team in the league when they don't have the ball. I think balls into the box generally is meat and drink for the three centre halves. So I think they will sit back. They'll allow Shelbourne to have the ball into wide areas. They will defend from there, and they'll try and nick Shelbourne on the counter attack with Oluwa over the top. So I think it's still on a knife edge, but Shelbourne, I'm sure Damien Duff will be saying, just keep doing what you're doing and the rewards will come.
OK, let's see what happens then. Let's get you back over to Conan and to Bernard for the second half in Drogheda.
Yes, thanks Emery, and you're very welcome back. And a quick weather update here is that the conditions have got considerably worse during the half-time break. The rain really is driving in now. There's that wind that's blowing across the pitch, and the rain has got heavier as well. No change on either side for the way for this second half, so it's as you were. And certainly, speaking of changes, Drogheda will hope there's no change in this second half as well, because they will be very happy with their first half return, leading by 2-1. Drogheda United top of the table, absolutely flying it this season, and with the advantage here against the defending champions. Conor, what do you reckon was said in those two dressing rooms at half time?
I think more of the same, even from both sets of managers. I think Drogheda will be very happy, again, only holding 25% possession, but so comfortable in that you can control a game without having the ball, and Drogheda are going to try to manage that in the second half. Damien Duff will be happy with how his team have done. It's just a couple of mistakes that have cost him at the back. Slip from Sam Bone, the first goal, and obviously the deflection for the second. So I'd say Damien will be pretty happy with his side's performance in the first half. Maybe just the finishing has to be a little bit better.
It's been the story of Drogheda's season, in around 30% or thereabouts, in the 30s anyway, the average possession that they've had in the 9 games before tonight. Certainly it's what they do when they have the ball that's made the difference. Nice little break forward there by Davis. Eventually he was stopped by JJ Lunney.
Yeah, he tried a couple of nutmegs. He got the first one. JJ Lunney saw the second one.
Here's Bolger. Inside for Keeley. Bolger, right-footed, sends that one long. Oluwa will chase, and Coyle red, and clears it out for the throw-in.
You're just going to have to be cautious of how the wind is going in this game. It was holding up there, and Oluwa's pace can get in behind Coyle, but Coyle defended that really well.
Shelbourne get it back at the edge of their own penalty area. McInroy, and now Chapman. Now it's Norris who gets it from Chapman. That's a lovely challenge. Absolutely superb. And Shane Farrell needed to win that cleanly and did. Sam Bone. McInroy. Harry Wood now for Shelbourne. As Oluwa comes across, just as Drogheda keep that defensive shape. Apart from the goal that Shelbourne have scored, Kevin Doherty will be very, very happy with how his side have defended so far tonight. Coyle, player who took advantage of that lapse in the Drogheda United defence. Wood, across he goes to Bone. Now Ledwidge, inside for Chapman. To Ledwidge again, Chapman again, Bone again. Shelbourne working hard in possession here. Lunney, McInroy has Caffrey in support. Oluwa just applying a little bit of pressure on that occasion. Ledwidge. Now McInroy. As the rain gets heavier and heavier in County Louth. Wood thought about going first time, then left-footed. Sends it over to that far side where it's Ledwidge. Pulls it right across Chapman. Big block. Wood. Another big block. And Odebeko trying to get there and Drogheda get it away. 2 big blocks in there. Just as Shelbourne pulled the trigger, not once but twice. Now it's McInroy. Ledwidge heads towards the byline. Decent delivery. And Keeley must have got a call from Bolger. Just left it and Bolger clears it right-footed. That was Bolger and Keeley making some really important blocks there a couple of moments ago. Another illustration of just how well this Drogheda United defend. Drogheda United side defend for each other. Chapman lays it off to Coyle. Harry Wood now. The avenue towards Caffrey was cut off. Back inside he goes to McInroy. Bone. Drogheda happy now to sit midway inside their own half of the field and allow Shelbourne to have the ball where they have it, and they're ready to snap and pounce as soon as Shelbourne come into more of a dangerous position. I spoke to James Bolger this week and he said they're growing to love defending, and you can see it with the way this Drogheda United side work for each other. Hard they work defensively from front to back. Coyle. McInroy. Got a bit of joy, gets a bit of space. Wide-footed delivery in towards Odebeko. Got a head to it, couldn't get the header on target. And after that long spell of Shelbourne possession, they get a header away, but it's not on target.
Yeah, it's a bit like Chapman's in the first half where I talked about it's very difficult to kind of glance. And that's what Meepo was trying to do. He was trying to glance it, but it came off the forehead, went out for a goal kick. But just going back to the three centre-halves, the draw that you're talking about, it's like a pendulum that they have. And they're on a piece of string, and if one goes, the other follows, and then the right centre-back comes across as well, and it just works so well together. And it's been so effective this season, the three of them. When the three of them haven't been together, they've looked vulnerable. But when the three of them are like they have been, really tight, really compact, they've been very impressive.
I made reference, Bolger, during the week that they kind of celebrate the defensive work they do together. A big fist pump and a big cheer and a big pat in the back. And shades of how Ishley historically defend and stuff, but they certainly, like you said, are defending so well, right from front to back. And Shelbourne finding it very hard right now. Really difficult playing conditions to break down Drogheda. Drogheda happy with their one goal cushion. Why wouldn't they be? McInroy trying something clever. They got it behind here, Shelbourne. Norris plays it back. Wood back towards the back post, trying to find Odebeko. Didn't reach him again. Drogheda defending it well, and they've won the free kick now. And Shelbourne are incensed that that attack has been broken down by the whistle by the referee. But Drogheda will have a chance now from the free kick.
Yeah, it does pop up and hit Harry Wood's arm. But just going back to the chance, I'd like to say Norris just throws right-footed it as it's coming across. Dennison mightn't be anticipating it, but instead he tries to go round him, which makes it a little bit more difficult because the Drogheda players are able to come back on goal side and make the challenge. It's great defending again by Drogheda to regroup and get back in position.
Dennison sends that one long. Bone right-footed clears it away. McInroy got a little bit on it. Wood can't get much more on it, and it's back in from Bolger. Again, you have to factor in Conor when you speak of that back three, that, you know, Conor Keeley, it's only his first season back at the club, so they haven't, these particular three players haven't been playing together all that long.
Yeah, with Conor Keeley as well, he went to St. Pat's, and Pats are a team that like to play out from the back, and that just doesn't suit Conor. Conor is a player that is better in a team that doesn't have much possession, that just is an out-and-out old-school defender, wins his headers, but he can pop up with some goals like he did in the Ryan McBride Brandywell last week. But he's just so solid in the heart of that defence. He communicates well with the two around him, and he's key to this Drogheda team.
Lunney got a runner in behind. Drogheda got it away. It was well defended by Lambe. Davis. Oluwa is a long way away from him. We try to find Markey, who was on the run through the centre.
So that's what they need to do more of. Get the ball up to Davis, let him hold him up and bring others into play, because Markey will be that willing runner that will be that third man to try and get into the space, into those little pockets.
Thrown over the top, it was Norris who heads it away for Shelbourne. Chapman. Shelbourne have it back. McInroy. Caffrey. Being looked after on that occasion by Kane. Wood. The idea was good. There was 2 Shelbourne players in Odebeko and Norris at the back post. Ball just wasn't sent in their direction well enough. Coyle. McInroy goes inside for Lunney. Coyle has joined the Shelbourne attack on this right side, and here he comes now, the captain, who's already scored in this game, gets it from McInroy. They go back inside as Bone had joined the attack. Lunney. Shelbourne being patient here in possession. Bone. Caffrey. And Coyle. One touch from Bone. Like he's going to send it in with a second touch. Here's Chapman. With a heavy touch at the edge of the penalty area. Good delivery, set back in towards Harry Wood. Bolger, I think, was the Drogheda United defender rising quickest and highest on that occasion. And now Drogheda spring out from the back. Try and put pressure on Shelbourne. Lunney. Shelbourne asking questions now of this Drogheda United defence. McInroy. He's lost possession though. Well won back by Davis. McInroy again. Wood again. Oh, nice little touch to get it back inside. He saw his name in lights. He's cleared the stadium. He's gone into a garden behind the goal. Player who scored the decisive goal in the run-in at the Roy McBride Brandywell. The last game of last season, couldn't get that on target. Did the hard work and hadn't got the finish.
Yeah, Drogheda are nearly vulnerable when they have the ball. Is that when they lose it, then they're out of shape. They nearly prefer Chelsea just to have it in front of them, and they just can manage the situation so well, like they have done over the last 5 minutes. It's important that Chelsea don't slow the play down. I saw Damien Duff on the far side jumping up and down. He's wanting them to play quicker, to recycle the ball out the other side faster, and they need to do that in order to break this Drogheda team down.
Not much Drogheda haven't done this season, but they haven't won 3 in a row. That's what they're looking to do now. Of course, they beat Waterford, won last week at Derry. They're now looking for another 3 points against the defending champions. They're a long way from home and hosed yet. Bolger just slices that one up into the sky, into the wind and the rain. Kearns. Caffrey with the header back. Here's McInroy, and it moved and it dipped and it zipped off the surface, and Dennison was equal to it.
Oh, it's a great save by Dennison, because McInroy just catches it so well on the half volley on his favoured left foot as well. It's a cracking strike from him, but Dennison is fantastic in the draw. The goal pushes his way for a corner.
We're going to see Luke Heeney come on momentarily for Drogheda. Here comes the Shelbourne corner kick. Swung in there. It was Farrell, the last player to get ahead to it. Cleared away by Keeley. Davis. Oluwa has Markey and Davis in support. They're a long way away from though. Has to go it alone and couldn't keep it down.
He's running at pace. They just want him to keep that pace up so that he can just go by Norris at ease. But he fancies himself so much to come back in on his left foot and just strike it once he gets a half a yard. And unfortunately for him, goes harmlessly over.
Well, here comes the Drogheda United change, and it's going to be Darragh Markey who's going to make way. He's a big part of what Drogheda have to do. He's off, and an opportunity for Drogheda to get Luke Heeney on for his 171st appearance. Player who's in his 7th season at the club.
He's Drogheda true and true, Luke Heeney. Just interesting to know if Darragh Markey picked up a little injury.
Yeah.
He did, picked one up in Cork a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if he's recovered fully from that. It's just strange to see him go off so early in the game, given his fitness levels.
First change in the game as Farrell wins that one back. Brennan. Little layoff. McInroy. Now Wood. Coyle. Drogheda holding their line. McInroy, oh, lovely footwork. Former Celtic player. JJ Lunney. Every Drogheda United player back in this defensive shape, midway inside their own half of the field. It's the furthest forward they are. Caffrey. Now, Sam Bowen. Ledwidge, or rather it was Lunney with the layoff to Chapman. Here is Ledwidge. Norris. Back into Sam Bowen. Long way out to Sam Bowen. Took a long time to think what he wanted to do. Took a shot which came off Oluwa. Odebeko tried to find Caffrey. Under pressure back there with Drogheda. They did enough to get it away. It was Kane with the left-footed clearance. McInroy. Lunney. You can see when the ball just skips across the surface, just how damp and wet it is out there now. McInroy. Lay off to Lunney. Damien Duff absolutely screaming at his players at the edge of his technical area on that far side. Just wants a bit of movement, would appear the message from the manager's body language. Here's his captain, Coyle. Decent delivery in towards that far post. And they got the header in there. It was on target, but once again, good defensive work by Drogheda, who can spring a counter-attack here. Not a huge amount of support, but he doesn't need it. Still going as Davis inside the penalty area. Big shout. The referee, Damien McGrath, had a lovely look at that. And he was not interested in the appeals for Drogheda United to get a penalty. He was right up with the play, the referee, and a really unimpeded view of it. And he made his decision. Drogheda, as you can hear, in particular the supporters, don't agree with it. McInroy. Still there from McInroy. Stabbed at it. Came off a Drogheda player. Corner kick for Shelbourne.
Yeah, Warren Davis, firstly, it's a fantastic run. He gets away from JJ Lunney oh so easy. It's just his pace and power that gets him through. A little nutmeg then on Norris. And there's not enough in it for me to give a penalty there. I think Damien McGrath's made the right decision.
Here comes the corner kick. Norris available short. I think McInroy might just go long with this. He's kicking this one into the wind. In it goes. Thought it was going to reach Odebeko. It was Rayhaan Brennan who was the player who got the head to that. Norris. McInroy, who's still in this position following the corner kick. Over towards that far side, where Sam Bowen was looking to get involved, but as he came inside, the ball just went far wider than he was, and it's gone behind for the goal kick.
Just going back to that James Norris chance earlier on, it was the header, and he got up really well, but Meepo just gets in his way a little bit. He probably should do better. There was no pace on the header from Norris. It's a brilliant ball in by Caffrey. And just back to Davis's penalty claim. Did look as if he went down a little bit too easy.
Caffrey beaten in the air by Oluwa. Bowen. Ledwidge. Oh, it's a little bit short from Ledwidge, and Kearns has bailed him out. Well, it's difficult enough for Shelbourne if they are to concede the next goal. It will be very, very difficult indeed against the meanest defence in the league, and that was just a little bit short from Ledwidge. Just as well it was well read by Kearns.
Yeah, he has to be on his front foot there to come out and help his teammate out, which he's done twice already in this game. It's good play by Conor Kearns.
So many star performers in Shelbourne's league title success last year, but plenty of moments in the run-in last season where Conor Kearns came good with some big saves. Maybe called into action here. Here's Oluwa, who has got plenty of support, including Kane. And he ran into traffic into McInroy and Coyle. Here's McInroy. Oh, lovely feet to get away from Brennan and then get away from Farrell. Farrell has committed the foul, and that's going to be a yellow card.
McInroy started this second half so well. It's just his quick feet, just to get away from players for such a big player.
Coyle came through the youth ranks at Celtic, was captain of the reserves, but then did his ACL, spent time out on loan with the likes of Dunfermline, Airdrieonians, Ayr United, got a move to Kilmarnock. He spent some time last season on loan at Partick Thistle. Of course, Damien Duff knew him from his own time at Celtic. Shelbourne signed him at the start of the season. It was largely unknown, of course, when he came to Shelbourne, but he's been rewarded for just how important a player he's become in a very short space of time with a new long-term contract that was confirmed this week.
Not surprised that they want to hold on to him, because he's been so effective in that midfield alongside JJ Lunney. They just dictate play, the two of them, hold on to the ball and create opportunities for the more attacking players.
Coyle, Wood. And here comes the aforementioned Kerr McInroy. Bone. Mipo Odebeko. Rain and wind has picked up considerably in the last couple of moments. Really is driving now. Bone tried to thread a ball through and didn't manage to do so. Oluwa goes down under the challenge from Coyle. Looks towards the referee. Referee says there's no foul in there, and Caffrey finds McInroy. Now it's Ledwidge. Norris, good ball across the face. Needed defending and was. Corner kick for Shelbourne. Right across that 6-yard box.
Again, Conor Keeley with the interception from Norris's cross in from the left. It's good play by Shells. Good defending by Keeley again.
Elicha. Ahui is going to be introduced shortly for Drogheda as the corner kick comes across and it's headed in, and Shelbourne get their equaliser. The delivery was really, really good. It was so inviting. And there at the back post, and there's a big, big celebration, was Sam Bowen, who's had a couple of unfortunate moments in the 2 goals Drogheda have scored, but now he's produced a moment to get Shelbourne level.
That's a great ball in by Caffrey, and it's Conor Keeley who gave away the corner with a great interception that loses Sam Bowen at the back post. And it's on this simple header for him, but it's one that makes amends for his earlier mistakes in the first half. And Shells are right back in this game.
Well, it's very, very interesting now. Sam Bowen, as we said, unfortunately from his point of view, lost his footing for the first goal for Drogheda. The second goal goes down as an own goal. His deflection past his own goalkeeper as he tried to deflect the shot away. But now, the celebration said it all. He's got a goal to get his team back level here. And it's really finally set up now to see who can go on and get a winner here if either can. Brennan. Now Farrell. Lovely little bit of footwork by Farrell. Lunney. Well, there appears to be a bit of activity on both benches. Right now, though, there's a long throw incoming for Drogheda United. Given away by Chapman for Shelbourne. Keeley tried to get his shot away. And in the end, it's McInroy who clears it. Here's Harry Wood, tries to lob the goalkeeper from a long way out. Didn't manage to hit it over the head of Dennison. Oh, that's terrible by Dennison. Giving it straight back to Mipo Odebeko. Here comes Odebeko! Deflected. A big, big deflection, a big, big block, because the goalkeeper almost made an absolute mess of it.
Oh, it's Ryan Brennan, the captain, with the block as well. Dennison with a howler of a clearance. And Mipo does so well to hold off Lambe initially, but Brennan comes in and makes a great challenge to put it out for the corner.
There's a big moment from the Shelbourne captain at one end to score a goal. That's a big moment by the Drogheda captain at the other end to prevent his side from going 3-2 down here. Shelbourne with the corner kick. It's gone out to Lunney. Sends it back in. Again, it was Sam Bowen at the back post. Some claims from the Shelbourne travelling supporters on the far side for a penalty. I don't think it was ever really going to be given there. Just held up in traffic really was Sam Bone in the end.
Yeah, it was just too much on it by JJ Lunney. Instead of just trying to whip it in, he tries to put a little bit too much height on it, aiming just for one player rather than just putting it into an area.
Ali Coote is on his way for Shelbourne, by the way. We believe, and it's going to be Ellis Chapman who is going to make way for him.
There's no surprise there. I think Chapman has been in and out of the game. Coote, such a huge influence in coming off the bench last week against Bow, setting up the winner for Odebeku.
It's just headed back to his goalkeeper by Chapman. He'll be on his way in a couple of moments. Coyle. Coyle once again finds McInroy. Sam Bone, whose goal has got Shelbourne level in the meeting of the league leaders and the defending champions. Lunney to Wood. We had Caffrey out wide, goes back inside to McInroy. Just slides it out to that far side to Norris. Just a back to Bowen, who would join the attack. Dangerous ball across, clear for now. McInroy! He gave that loads. Just couldn't get it on target. A difficult technique. He backed himself, took it on, but it wasn't on target.
I don't think there's anyone else in this pitch that you'd like to fall for. And McInroy takes a great first touch with his left foot. Pops up nicely for him and he swings at it. And it's a great strike, but just a couple of yards wide of Dennison's left-hand post. Shells are up in the ante a little bit again.
Comes that Shelbourne change. I think the change is going to be made. Now it's actually Harry Wood who's making way for Ali Coote.
I'm surprised at that one because I think Harry Wood was playing particularly well in the second half. He kept cutting inside and creating that little space for McInroy and Lunney to drive into.
Well, the interesting part was it looked like Chapman was going to make his way off. He kind of was heading over towards that general direction. There was a little bit of a change in the board that was held up, and then up went number 7. So maybe there was a late switch to what was initially planned by Shelbourne. By the way, it's Ali Coote on, and it's Harry Wood who's made way from Odebeku. Shields that one down. Well, from Shelbourne's point of view, if they are to try and get a winner here, it'll be interesting to see how long at all Damien Duff fancies he can get out of Sean Boyd, Shelbourne's main attacker last season, main attacker this season as well. 1% chance of featuring on the bench. He's been sick all week, said Damien Duff. Fancy if he's on the bench, he's on the bench because he can play some part in this game. Keep a close eye on that. A draw, a piece, not a terrible result for either side here. Not that Damien Duff or Kevin Doherty would be waving any white flags just yet.
I think if there's any chance of him coming on, it'll be soon. Because you need to have that bit of an impact that he can create, and you can't just give him 5 or 6 minutes. Sean Boyd needs a little bit more time to get involved in the game. And if he is fit, he probably will get about 15, 20 minutes.
Kearns, well defended once again by Lambe. Spoke about the back three, but certainly Kane on this side, Lambe on the other side, always slot into those wide areas and make sure that the back three aren't exposed at all by any runners in behind. Well, we've laboured the point at times, but it really is a defensive unit, this Drogheda team. Defends so well. Coyle, Shelbourne fans have started to make some noise on the far side. Lunney. Caffrey had made a lovely run in behind, just behind Bolger. Didn't reach him though.
Well, it certainly is a back 5 when Shells are attacking like this. It's not really a back 3 because Lambe slots in beside Quinn over on the far side, and you have Kane in here beside Bolger. So this stage of the game, they're settling now for the 2-2 draw, and if they can get something on the counter-attack, all well and good. But Shells will certainly be the ones that are going for this last 15 minutes.
There is time left for either these two sides to try and get a winner here. Conditions absolutely terrible. They weren't quite too bad when we arrived here. Now we're doing 4 kickoff. They have got worse as Coyle just trying to get there from the ball from Ali Coote. Well read. Coote gets it back once again. Coyle now. The more familiar central area takes on the shot. And no real danger to Luke Dennison, who knew he had enough space ahead of him just to make sure he didn't let that one slip through his fingers in the wet surface and the wet gloves, and just palmed it down.
Yeah, he's probably thinking of that, Bernard, in terms of the wet surface, to try and drill it in. But Ledwidge had made a great run down his left-hand side. He probably would have been the better ball to play him in.
Bolger just clipping that one on the way, because Dennison's kick wasn't a great one. We've got our fair share of drama. Terrible conditions, as we said, but both sides have had their moments. See some good goals in this game as well. Some real dramatic moments. We're not done just yet. Ali Coote. Oluwa breathing down his throat. Caffrey. Left-footed towards that back post. And a couple of occasions now, Shelbourne have tried that back post route and they've not got any joy from it.
Yeah, it's just overhit, and you have Evan Caffrey there, who's predominantly right-footed, and Ali Coote just inside, just lay it back to him rather than swinging it with your left. Ali Coote has a wonderful delivery on him himself. He could do the exact same ball, except whip it in across, as I said, that little corridor of uncertainty between the goalkeeper and the centre halves. Create havoc in there. Just hasn't been done enough in this second half by Shells.
Luke Dennison requires a bit of treatment, and Drogheda United players have all headed over towards the bench on the far side just to have a little bit of a debrief. There's going to be another Drogheda United sub on the way inside the next couple of moments. I think Kieran Cruz, the defender, is going to be introduced. As you can see in those shots, the conditions really bad here. Certainly 15 minutes or so remaining for these two sides to try and get a goal. Dennison's okay, he's back on his feet. Drogheda have to get themselves back off from the touchline on the far side. Kevin Doherty just taking every opportunity to have a little bit of a word with his players. Dennison will get us underway. It's thumped long. It's Ledwidge who's under it. McInroy. Coyle. Coyle once again for Shelbourne. There's been plenty of late drama in fixtures between these two sides. Are we to see another late twist in the tale? Can either side get a winner? Shelbourne would love to do that. The execution of the ball, the attempted slide in behind wasn't there. Drogheda clear their lines, get it away.
Yeah, I think Drogheda have definitely reverted now to a back five, straight back five. I don't even think they're playing wing backs anymore. Cruz coming out into this left-hand side of midfield, and it's a 4 in front of them. And then Oluwa just on his own up front, just for his pace and power, try and get that counter-attack. So it's very important now, if Shells want to go and win this game, they'll have to break down a back five and a sitting 4 right in front of them.
The games, of course, come thick and fast as Shelbourne needs to be careful there. Shelbourne have Galway United to come on Monday, another of the title contenders on the way for Drogheda United, as St. Pat's will come here on Monday. be a solid start to the weekend for Drogheda with a point here, but Shelbourne on the attack. Mipo Odebeko gets his shot away. It is blocked. Shelbourne looking to recycle it in there. Bolger with a head to it. The rain getting heavier and heavier in Drogheda. Coyle, McInroy. Shelbourne! Oh, it was not too far away. Dennison was scrambling to get across. And again, and crucially, the end product is it wasn't on target. Not too far off target.
There's going to be a little bit more space in that middle of the pitch now. The fact that they used to have that box in midfield, Drogheda, now they just have the sitting two players, so there's going to be more space now with McInroy, Ali Coote, JJ Lunney and Ellis Chapman all in that area, and it's easy for McInroy just to play the ball to Chapman, and Chapman again has so much time to take aim for the goal. It again just goes past that post of Dennison. It's another opportunity for Shells.
Rayhaan Tulloch has been introduced for Shelbourne, scored in that important win for Shelbourne in the run-in last season. He's coming on, and a very interesting other change being made for Shelbourne because Sean Boyd is on. And again, as we have been saying, he hasn't trained this week. He's been sick all week. Damien Duff obviously confident to get 10 minutes out of his main striker, and a striker who, as we said at the outset, really likes this fixture because he scored 7 times in 11 games against Drogheda.
Yeah, and he has 10 minutes now to score a winner, and to top off his week after probably being in bed for most of it. He's just that player that will bring others into play, and especially when a team drops so deep, you need that focal point, that player that sticks in that number 9 position, and Sean Boyd's the perfect player for that.
He has been described by his manager when he's asked about the importance of Sean Boyd. The words of Damien Duff: when I go to war with the big man. That's how important Sean Boyd is to Damien Duff and Shelbourne. And he's on, and he will have plenty of movement to try and ask questions of that Drogheda United defence. Tulloch, another of the changes for Shelbourne. Again, as we have been saying this season, Shelbourne with plenty of strength and depth. Reminder, Shelbourne still without the likes of Barrett, Wilson, Markey, Kelly, all out injured currently for Shelbourne. Not that Drogheda don't have their own injury concerns. Oluwa. Kane, and now Bolger. The season they're having so far, all this talk of Shelbourne trying to get a winner here, do not rule out a Drogheda late winner either. Shelbourne defending that one well. Didn't reach Boyd, he'll stretch and try and get there, just nicked in and won the ball back, and that's what you're going to get from Sean Boyd. Caffrey to Lunney. It's been a dreary night weather-wise, absolutely soaked to the skin, the majority of these players and supporters. A couple of commentators too, Conor. The notes are a thing of the past. They've sailed away a long time ago here. The ink is gone on them. But Shelbourne won't care if they can get a winner here. Coyle. 83rd minute. Shelbourne working hard to try and give a late twist to this tale. Ball into feet. Held up well. Bowen to Coyle. So many teams have really struggled to break down this Drogheda defence. Shelbourne looking to unhinge, unlock, find the gap, find some space, get a shot away and try and get a goal. Easier said than done.
It's just too slow these last 1 or 2 minutes. Just needs to be quicker in their play, try and get it out the other side, make Drogheda move a little bit more than they are. This is just too easy for them at the moment.
Bolger with that clearance. Kearns. Coyle. Drogheda United players turning, just going back into shape, back into position. It's Chapman trying to turn there. Boyd comes across, and it's Farrell who clears his lines. A couple of tired bodies out there at this stage.
I think Shells are just changing up a little bit themselves. Caffrey's just playing high and wide on one side, and Tulloch's the same on the other.
There's a couple of changes on the way for Drogheda. A double change we hear on the way for Drogheda, which wouldn't surprise you. As we said, with a couple of tired bodies out there. Chapman. Chapman again. Coyle. McInroy. Just thought for a second that may have just opened up for him. Shelbourne go to that left side to Tulloch. Bone. Score of the second Shelbourne goal. Boyd. Ali Koosh inside the penalty area. Bolger comes across. Caffrey sends it back in towards Boyd. Battling away with Keeley. Keeley's got the free kick. Real pull on the jersey by Boyd. And now a chance for a couple more changes, I think.
A little bit better from Shells. Caffrey gets it down the side, and again his cross is overhit a little bit. I'd like to see a bit more pace in his deliveries, like he was doing in the first half, but 5 minutes to try and get a goal.
Yeah, there's going to be that double change to be made. Are we going to make it now? We are. Shane Farrell, first of those players who's going to make way. Takes his time. It's the booze from the Shelbourne supporters. Former Shelbourne player, of course. Made the move midway through last season from Damien Duff's side. Oluwa is the other of the players who is off. Ahui is on. Two fresh legs on for Drogheda.
It's great to see Ahui back in the side as well. He had a wonderful campaign last year, culminating in a wonderful performance in the FAI Cup final, where he was up against Michael Duffy, if you remember. And it's great to see him back now after injury.
He was an important part of that Drogheda team last year. A good player to have back on at this stage, and you fancy he may feature as well on Monday. And St. Pat's come to Drogheda. Bawa. Coyle. 87th minute. Caffrey. It wasn't a good pass. Shelbourne need to be careful here. Bowen. Bowen again. Now Lunney finds Tulloch. Whistle goes, but it's going to be a corner kick to Shelbourne.
Yeah, it's good play by Tulloch. A couple of times he's got the ball, he's come back, but he hasn't gone 1v1 against a Drogheda player yet up until now. He gets a corner for his side.
So here comes this corner kick for Shelbourne. 89th minute. Shelbourne looking to take the lead here. Well, delivery like that, easily defended up the near post. Ledwidge pumps that one along Has gone safely into the arms of Luke Dennison. Well, while we have a break and play, a chance for Conan to tell us, Conan, who is your SSE Electricity player of the match?
Yeah, there's been a couple of players on both sides that have been particularly well. Thought Lambe at right wing back has been good at Drogheda. JJ Lunney in the centre midfield as well for Shells has been very good. But Kerr McInroy has been outstanding in the central midfield, especially after he's getting his new contract as well. Certainly shown how good he is and how good he can be, and he's my player of the match.
Good week for Kerr McInroy, the former Celtic player. He is the choice of SSE Electricity player of the match. He says there's nothing wrong there. Twice Shelbourne have equalised, and they take the lead for the first time very late on here. Ali Coote, here is the player of the match, Kerr McInroy. Tulloch. We hear there's going to be 4 additional minutes to be added here. Which will begin in around about 30 seconds time. Coyle, McInroy, Bowen. Goal scorer of Shelbourne's second goal. Both of Shelbourne's goals scored by defenders. In towards Boyd, who went down. There was movement in just behind him from Chapman.
I think Boyd just tried to step over it for Chapman to get. And Keeley comes storming in. It's not a foul. It's just a good challenge by the Drogheda centre half.
We'll get confirmation now of those 4 additional minutes. Chapman with a go. Another block. Another really good block. Coote. Coyle. Caffrey. Coote. Still Ali Coote. Tried to give and go with Boyd. Really good play by, yes, you guessed it, Conor Keeley. Now Kerr McInroy. And Keeley's out of position. With Shelbourne again a little bit slow with the build-up play. You could argue they're just being patient. McInroy. Had a bit of space there. Perhaps could have got a shot away for his time. Tried to play it in towards Boyd, who just couldn't control it.
Yeah, they're just trying to walk it in. Had a huge opportunity to get a strike off there at the edge of the box. He tried a little 1-2 with Boyd instead.
2 managers are virtually on the touchline. Absolutely shouting on is Kevin Doherty on the far side.
Kevin Doherty's looking for a striker to hold it up, bring others into play. Don't be giving the ball back to Shell so easily.
Dennison's ball has gone out of play. Well, look, we could have another twist, Conan. We don't know if he will or we won't, but what does this say about Drogheda, I suppose, in particular this season?
It shows they can mix it with the top teams in the league. Obviously, they took the lead. They'd be disappointed with the concession of the goal. But they retook the lead, and they'd be very disappointed with the equaliser. And especially Conor Keeley letting Sambone in behind him to get the goal. But Damien Duff will be very happy with his side in terms of the fight back that they got. Probably should have went on and got the winner considering the possession that they've got in this game. But you can't argue with Drogheda's defensive shape, rear guard. The whole lot has been really impressive.
Not many sides will get much from here this season. Of course, Shamrock Rovers have left with 3 points. But Drogheda, a reminder, are just a matter of seconds away from taking 4 points from 2 games against the defending champions. They've got plenty forward looking for this throw. Keeley's in there, so too is Bolger. A little bit short. Bolger made the most of it by flicking it on. Heeney. Kane. Just about kept that in play. Interesting ball sent in there. Bowen has to clear it away.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Again, there was only 3 Drogheda players in the box when that ball came in, and it was the 3 centre halves. They don't return to their defensive shape until the ball completely breaks down.
Boyd heads that one away. It is looking like it's going to be a point apiece here, which both managers will see some big positives from Drogheda's point of view, as Conan said, mixing it up with plenty of the sides who are expected to challenge for the title this season. from Shelbourne's point of view, showed a real battle, coming back twice, and some really positive play from their point of view as well. They'll be disappointed with the manner they conceded the 2 goals. Defensively poor for the first one, a slip that they can't really control. And the second, of course, an own goal. Drogheda looking for a late winner here. Flicked on. Coyle with the header away. Keeley, who has been amongst the goals. Needs to be good delivery. Shelbourne block it through Ledwidge. Drogheda with a chance once again, and that's going to be a goal kick. And perhaps now that's that. It is. There goes the full-time whistle. Drogheda United's superb start to the season continues once again. They have taken 4 points now from 2 games against the defending champions. A win at Tulloch Park earlier on this season, and twice tonight they took the lead against Shelbourne. And they remain on a really upward curve this season, the league leaders. From the defending champions' point of view, Damien Duff will be happy that his side showed some real battling qualities to twice get themselves back in this game. They had chances as well to score more goals. They had chances to win it, but it is a point for the defending champions tonight against Drogheda United. Really difficult playing conditions, but it has finished in this battle between the league leaders and the defending champions in a point apiece. Full time here, Drogheda United 2, Shelbourne 2.
Yeah, that is a very big point for Drogheda in particular. They dug deep in that second half. They challenged Shelbourne to break them down. Keith Tracy, you imagine Kevin Doherty would be fairly satisfied with that second half performance and the point they got from it.
Yeah, I think Kevin Doherty would be absolutely over the moon when you break down the stats of the game. Shelbourne were by and far the much better team, had better chances at the lion's share of the ball. Just in the second half alone, Shelbourne had 83% of the ball in that second half, and that's only 17% for Drogheda. Drogheda no shots on target in the second half. Not really an attacking force, but defended really well. And look, we all know Drogheda are a difficult team to beat, and they just reinserted that fact. And
for Damien Duff, Ian, you could see him hopping along the sideline there, as he often is. Plenty of frustration, especially when Keith says they had so much control, so much possession in that second half, just to come away with a point.
Yeah, I think over, like Keith said, they had so much ball, they had good chances. But you looked at it in the second half and they just kept having to recycle the ball, going from side to side. They didn't really have any through balls. They didn't get anyone in between the centre halves. They didn't pin centre backs, play off them, little bounce passes. So I think he would have been liking them to be a little more clinical, a little bit more clever around their box. But I think with tonight, how Drogheda are in the league, a point away from home, the weather the way it was, I think he'll take a point and he'll be okay.
Do we need to stop talking about Drogheda? Can they hang on? Will they still be there? It's another match night gone now and they're still top of the league.
Well, I'm still unconvinced that they'll be there at the end of the season, to be honest, but the Pats game on Monday is a big game. Obviously, Drogheda are at home, but the fact that they've got a point tonight is a very, very good point, but only a good point if they go and take all 3 against St. Pat. So it's a big game on Monday. And the fact that we're having this conversation, I mean, I was hotly tipping Drogheda to struggle this season. So the fact that they've had the best defence in the league, the second best attack, you know, they've been unbelievable this season, and Kevin Doherty and Drogheda deserve all the plaudits in the world so far.
Many people were tipping them to struggle, Ian, but when you look at that performance tonight, when you see other teams that have gone to Sullivan and Lambe Park, not many teams will get much change out of Drogheda tonight.
No, and the big risk for them is that 11 that they have on the pitch. How long can they stay available for them? And it's very, very difficult to sustain defending your 18-yard box for 80, 90 minutes of a game. They're brilliant when they do go forward. They don't control the ball enough. It's going to be hard to sustain that for the rest of the season. I'm sure Kevin has already been in the year of the owners. Give me a chest to go to war with in the summer. Bring in some more quality, improve the squad. But they've been absolutely fantastic, resilient, strong, taking chances when they've got them. Yeah,
particularly when European football comes into play, Keith. You would imagine they'll have to get reinforcements in there.
Yeah, as Ian says, the starting 11 for Drogheda is quite strong. You look at the bench and it's not quite as strong. The levels do come down a bit, and you would imagine when Europe rolls around, that squad will become a little bit more stretched, and any sort of injuries will really hamper this Drogheda team. But take nothing away from what Drogheda and Kevin Doherty are doing has been exceptional.
OK, we'll have a closer look at it after the break. We do have a quick break to take. Sambone and involved at both ends, an own goal in the first half, but he came up trumps in the second half for the equaliser. Analysis and reaction to that 2-2 draw on the way from Keith and Ian.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
I don't know, Dad. I've just been away from it for too long.
You'll be grand, love. Now, on your bike. Just like our mammy.
Every connection counts. That's why Ireland can count on our network. Vodafone. Together we can.
Get moving with new, lower fixed mortgage rates from PTSB. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, our dedicated team can help you find a rate that's right for you. And with our online portal to track every stage of your application, it all comes together for a mortgage experience that's altogether more human. PTSB. Apply online today.
Fast delivery on Amazon.ie. Massive entertainment. It's on Prime for $6.99 a month.
Bet Victor. Take a spin on exclusive games. Timeless classics. And play all the biggest hits, all in one place. Place your best bet at Bet Victor.
Our Villa Plus experts personally select quality villas with private pools, so you can enjoy amazing villas at amazing prices. Villa Plus, it means more.
Rock Show, official beer of the League of Ireland.
When your smoking cravings creep up on you, Nicorette lozenges are clinically proven to start fighting cravings in just 2 minutes with a rapid burst of fresh flavour. You're up to 2 times more likely to quit with Nicorette.
FBD doesn't stand for fire-breathing dachshund.
Farmers borealis discovery or fierce barn damage. FBD stands for support. We support farmers across Ireland in our 34 branches nationwide. FBD Insurance. Support. It's what we do.
Balancing your money. Household budgets. Holiday savings. What if the car breaks down? Being good with money is all about balance.
Good morning, how are you?
Definitely get it. And sometimes there's a wobble. Do you need a hand balancing all that? Get smart with your spending, saving, borrowing and budgeting with Unpost Money's handy tools and products. Now that's better. Unpost Money, making better happen.
We're helping you celebrate Easter. Make the morning extra special with our finest breakfast range. Find your favourite with our selection of finest hot cross buns, like extra fruity and apple and cinnamon. And go big with the chocolate treats with selected Easter eggs. Tesco. Every little helps.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Now we have more Women's Six Nations action to bring you this weekend. Tomorrow, It's the meeting of England and Scotland at Welfare Road. The build-up to that one begins at 4:35, and we will round up all the rest of the action, including Ireland's trip to Wales, from 7 o'clock in our highlights show on Sunday night. Also this weekend, we have live national hunt racing from Musselburgh in Scotland, where the Queen's Cup is the feature race. We're live from 1:30 on Virgin Media 1 tomorrow for that one. But at Sullivan and Lambe Park tonight, it has finished 2-2 between Shelbourne and Drogheda United. A point apiece. Let's hear from the player of the match. Kerr McInroy is standing by with Will Dalton.
Kerr, congratulations. First of all, you are the SSE Electricity Player of the Match. Talk to me, a 2-2 draw, is that a point gained or 2 points dropped, do you think?
I think it's 2 points dropped. I thought we dominated the game throughout, and we created a lot of chances. We just never took any more. We conceded 2 really sloppy goals, which we're disappointed about. But yeah, definitely 2 points dropped.
First half especially, you dominated possession, but then a slip and a deflection and you come in 2-1 down.
Yeah, we were very disappointed at half time to come in. We felt like we dominated the first half, so we were really disappointed to come in 2-1 down. It was good to get the goal at the start of the second half, but sadly we couldn't get another.
The second half, yeah, you stuck to your task and again dominated, kept the pressure on, and Sam made amends.
Yeah, I'm delighted for him to get his goal. He's also been out injured for a while, so I'm delighted he got his goal.
Drogheda seem to be a very hard team to break down. They seem to invite pressure and then hit teams on the break. It's not just the way they play. Did you find it particularly tough? There was some close or long-range shots from yourself, which went very close.
Yeah, it's the third time we've played them this season, and each time it's been a really difficult game. They kind of sit in and soak up the pressure, and they carry a counter-attack threat. So it's kind of up to us to break that down, and sadly we've never done it enough tonight.
Game's coming thick and fast though. Galway next, so move on to that and focus. It'll already turn, I suppose, very quickly to trying to get 3 points.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround, so it's all about recovery going into Monday, and hopefully another chance of getting 3 points.
Kerr, congratulations on the performance.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
All right, let's get into the analysis then. We wanted to talk about a man who was hugely involved at both ends tonight. Sam Bowen, his first start since February. Ian, he had a tough first half, but from his point of view, he'll be delighted with getting Shells back into the game in the second half.
He will. He'd be buzzing with that. Kerr McInroy mentioned it there. He's had a tough run of injuries the last few years, Sam Bowen, and he's just really unfortunate here. The sniper comes out. He would have comfortably dealt with the striker and got out to him, stopped him getting the shot, would take nothing away from Warren Davis's finish at the end to squeeze it in at the near post. But he would have been kicking himself there, and he would have been trying to make things up, and it comes to the edge of the box here. And it's just an instinct. You stick your leg out, you see it coming. It's a lovely strike as well from Lambe, and it just comes off his foot. Like, of all the places to go, he would have been wanting to make amends, and this is what he would have wanted. Ball coming in, his eyes would have opened nice and bright, and it's a decent header skipping off the ground. But if you look at big Keeley here, looking at the ball, square on, no idea where Sam Bowen is, he'll be so disappointed with that, because if there's any man you wanted a 1v1 battle with to defend your own box, you would want Conor Keeley as that man. And he just gets his body shape all wrong, doesn't know where Bowen is, but Bowen will be licking his lips there, and he'd be delighted to have saved his team.
So much desire for him to get in there at the back post. You saw from the celebration as well, Keith, what it meant to him. But just listen to Kerr McInroy there. The frustration is clear to see. He said it's 2 points dropped, and with the chances Shells had, Damien Duff would be expecting to come away from this one with the 3 points.
Yeah, they had much the better chances, and as you said, it was an OG and a slip that really let Drogheda in, and Drogheda didn't have an awful lot of an attacking play, so I'm sure Damien Duff will be disappointed. But when you get a chance within the first 30 seconds of a game, Oda Becco for me should be taking that with his left foot, and that when the ball wiggles free again, he just dangles a lazy right foot at it. He should be hitting that with his left foot. Again, an easier technique would be to take that down with your left foot. He does okay with the right, and Chapman has a bit of a snapshot that just goes wide. So again, this one is really unforgivable. He has a little slip, he's trying to pull out, but he's just got to steady himself, get his knee over the ball and just get that under the crossbar. And Shelbourne got themselves into these positions an awful lot. Ledwidge decides just to take a strike on there. It was a decent chance, but this is where they really miss Sean Boyd. In these areas, they can whip it into Sean Boyd. Drogheda, I would assume, would come out and engage because you don't want those balls going in. But this again, when Shelbourne do look like they're they've
bodies
opened
on the
up
line stuff from Drogheda.
Bodies on the line, and this is what you expect. The three big centre halves are more than willing to get hit with the ball. They want to. Dennison, I'm not quite sure what he's doing here. A little floaty ball, and look, the Becco is there, and again the finish is not quite up to scratch. And Damien Duff will be thinking we've had 4 or 5 really big chances there and enough to win the game, but not defensively good enough.
OK, let's get a bit of reaction then from the Drogheda camp. Kevin Doherty is speaking to Will.
Kevin, 2-2 this evening. Are you happy with the point against the defending champions?
Yeah, probably am, because I don't think it was our best performance. Shelbourne obviously changed their shape, and it did cause us a lot of trouble, to be fair. We had to readjust and probably change ours a little bit. It's just something you have to do, because, again, a lot of people talk about us and how set up we are, and other teams are going to try different things to try and go against that. So, look, we showed a massive amount of character tonight, because, again, I don't think it was our best performance at all, but we dug it out and had to make blocks. And yes, I'm very disappointed with the 2 goals we conceded. I'm sure they may be the same with their 2 goals. But yeah, look, it's a point, as you said, against the champions. That's 4 we've taken off them in the first 2 games.
Well, we look at the first half, and they did dominate possession in long spells in that. But you came in at half time 2-1 up. You were clinical in the chances that you got. Yeah,
well, we sort of had to be. And look, we got away with one, I think. And me both put one over the bar. And I said, and this is the players as well. Like, Shelbourne are a very good team, and there's so many really good teams in this league. We're not going to have our own way every game, but when you're like that, it's so important not to lose. And this lads show great character, great determination. Not exactly an unbelievable night to play football in, but I thought we dealt with it well. Yes, of course, you're disappointed. You can see the back from a set piece and the back post. And look, the odd time these things happen, and you don't accept it. You just try and correct it, which we will. But no, I'm very proud of the effort, and as you say, it's a point against the champions.
Was the message at half time, let's try and grind this out, do exactly what we do, soak up the pressure and then hit them?
No,
on the break?
I thought we had to be a little bit better at what we do. Like, do what we do, but there's no point in just doing a half-baked, if that's the words you use. But I thought we had to be a bit more aggressive. I thought we had to win more duels. I thought we had to get in their faces a little bit more. We were, at times, our 3 lines where they're normally, whether they're up or they're back, but they were too fragmented. They weren't doing it together. Yeah. So we changed a few things. Worked a bit better in the second half. But as I said, at the end of it, probably we're happy enough to take the point.
And finally, quickly then, big games coming thick and fast. Pat's next. You're still top of the league, though.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm only have to hear the results now. So, look, it's a long way. But it's excellent that it just shows if we've lost one of the games, and said we're going quite well.
Kevin, congratulations on the points, and enjoy the birthday.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thanks.
Yeah, decent birthday present for Kevin Doherty, picking up a point against the champions. Ian, you picked out this piece that you said kind of sums up the night. There's been a lot of talk about how Shelbourne are getting a lot more respect this season as champions, and they've had that struggle to try and break teams down.
Yeah, like Kev just mentioned it there, what they do, they know what they do as a Drogheda team. They drop off, they hit you on the counter, they're ruthless. And you see here, everyone behind the ball, and they're so deep. And Shells are looking here, can we prod? Can we get someone to come short to us? Can we get someone in a little pocket? Is there a little slip ball that I can, maybe a little outside of the foot, or you can slide someone between the defenders at the back? But they have to be really patient here. And you've got balls going into the box. Norris, not the greatest header in the world, but they're pumping it in there. They've not got your Sean Boyd, and this is what Drogheda do. They sit back, wait to win the ball and counter, and Davis does so well to get by Lunney. He drives into the box. Well, if you watched the United game last night, you'd have said yeah after that decision. But he's done really well here to keep driving, and he's in between them. I've seen them given. I don't think any Shelbourne player gets a touch on that ball there. I think he's unlucky not to get the decision his way, but that summed up the game in the second half. Shell's just recycling the ball left to right, can't get the ball, or not real quality numbers high up the pitch in the box, and Drogheda just soaked everything up.
Very quickly, Keith, penalty for you?
Not for me. No, I don't think Coyle made any sort of contact with Davis. It was a great run, but not a penalty. Just ran out of steam in the end.
All right then, time for a quick break. When we come back, a roundup from around the grounds tonight. It's goals all the way from here. Don't go anywhere.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
McDelivery? You in?
I'm in.
I'm in. McSpicy. Medium meal.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in. McCrispy. We're in.
Ooh, fries for me.
Wait, did someone say fries? I'm in.
I'm in.
Yeah, I well fancy a fillet of fish. Expand your palate.
Big Mac.
Mayo chicken.
Double cheeseburger. I'm in.
There's nothing quite like a McDelivery. You in? Oh, I'm in.
Rebel in the comfortable home. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
We all want to restore our world's natural environment. But where do we even start? How about right here? With Super Value Tidy Towns, we can reimagine our local areas. Every time we rewild, every time we strengthen biodiversity, every time we support our Tidy Towns volunteers. That's real action, because every local action has a global impact. Super Value, real food, real people, real action.
Think you're ready for 1 gig Sky full fiber broadband? Think again. It's not just fast, it's full fiber fast. Get ready for broadband that blows you away with 1 gig full fiber speeds. Now just €35 a month for 12 months. Search Sky Broadband today.
Liam, I'm on the move.
So what's new? How are you?
What? Who's that? It's Liam. Go on. There's your mother. She's not for walking these days. She's got the pajamas and everything, you know.
And how are you, Dad?
Ah, we're flying it, sure.
But how are you holding up?
Get down.
Dad?
1 sec now. What did you say?
I was just saying, how are you?
Yeah, sure you know yourself.
Yeah.
Stay connected with 3, Ireland's fastest mobile network.
Rockshore, official beer of the League of Ireland.
It starts small, doing what you can when you can. It's just one change, followed by another, and another, until you wake up refreshed. Find your step. And realize that incremental has become monumental. Beat yesterday.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage on Virgin Media.
Okay, lots more League of Ireland coming up over the next few weeks. Don't forget, on Easter Monday, we are on air earlier than usual, 1:30 for the Dublin Derby between Bows and Rovers. Next Friday, well, it's another Dublin Derby on the cards, and this time it's Shells heading to Tala. And on Friday, May 2nd, we are in Sligo for the meeting of Rovers and Drogheda. All right, then, let's hear from Damien Duff, who's been speaking with Will Dalton.
Damien, 2-2 on a difficult night to play football. Are you happy with the point or disappointed not to have got more?
Disappointed, 2 points dropped for whatever the game was, 100 minutes long. Thought we were the best team on the pitch for 100 minutes. Outside of that, obviously 2 comedy goal moments, unacceptable. Defending the goals you give away, you'll never win a league again with that. But no, it's the best we've ever played up here. Dominated the game from start to finish at probably the most difficult away ground in the country. So from that point of view, yeah, very proud, very happy, but for sure 2 points dropped.
First half, you dominated possession, but you came in 2-1 down at the break. Were you a bit shocked by that?
Yeah, shocked, but we were calm. But nonsense goals, goals that I have no time for, and goals, you know, guys maybe feeling sorry for themselves. No, don't. And on top of that, so it's, you can say, the final third of the pitch and obviously the bottom third,
conceded 2 awful goals, and our finishing being stone cold killers up the top end of the pitch. Again, a difficult place, created a lot of chances, didn't put them away.
You're proud of your players on the second half. They did grind it out. They did get an equaliser for you and stuck to their task to try and get something out of the game.
Well, it's what we deserved. Like I said, utter dominance. I think the whole game was played in this area we're stood in now. It's hard a thing to do, so it's always a sign of a top team. I absolutely believe, watching the game there, when I watch it back later tonight, we looked a top team tonight. Outside of them 2 absolutely unacceptable moments.
Disappointing though, it is quickly move on to Galway next. Is that a positive thing that you can quickly turn that around and try and get 3 points there?
Yeah, well, anyone at home or away, but yeah, another big game, and it's all about being a top professional for the next couple of days. What you do in the dark is seen in the light, so we need to absolutely bounce into Monday full of beans.
Damien, thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Strong words there from Damien Duff. He's never really afraid to send a message to his players through these interviews. What does that do to a player in the dressing room? You're seeing that come through on your phone.
I think he's spot on. I think everything he said there is absolutely right. Shelbourne were the better team. They conceded goals that they shouldn't have conceded. They had over 700 passes tonight, and Drogheda are down under 200. So it just goes to show you how comfortable Drogheda are out of possession. So I don't think Shelbourne asked enough questions. And when you think about the amount of possession they had, Drogheda only had moments in the game to go and hurt them, and they were able to do that. So that's why Duff won't be too happy.
He's looking for a big reaction on Monday, isn't he, from his players with that kind of talk?
Yeah, he needs it. And that's been the mentality since he's gone in there. He's driven his players. He's been very honest. He's no problem standing in front of the cameras and sending a message to the dressing room. But the players will know that themselves. I think you got that off Kerr McInroy when he spoke as well. Straight away, it was 2 points dropped. No problem with it. He didn't want to elaborate too much on his answers. They'll be hurting in there because they have that drive. They want to go back to back in their titles. They want to be right there in the mix towards the end of the season. And if you've got to do that, you've got to be taking chances. When you've got over, 700-800 passes in a game, you've created the chances that they've created, you should be walking away from games with 3 points.
All right, then let's get a little bit more reaction from Drogheda. Their goal scorer tonight, Warren Davis, is standing by with Will.
A goal for you tonight, 2-2 draw. On the manager's birthday, a point. Satisfied with that?
Yeah, you know, the way that Shells came out today, you know, they were very up for it. Like, we went in there, we stuck to our game plan, but they came out with something different what we weren't ready for. But you know, we'll take the point here.
Well, they dominated possession in the first half. As you said, they did set up differently. Kevin has talked about that. But you were clinical and you went in 2-1 up with the break.
Yeah, you know, possession really hasn't been our strong suit this year, as I think the stats show. But in front of goal, we've shown we're clinical. You know, we scored 2 goals, even though we weren't at our best tonight. But the defending, you know, the whole season, our defending has been unbelievable. Tonight, I think we had 2 sloppy goals, you know, but I'm just happy to get on the score sheet.
Yourself and Thomas up front certainly inject pace into the team. Talk to us about your goal and what was going through your mind.
I seen the ball just go to Tom and I said, right, Tom has him 1v1, so I'll just make my way into the box. Tom shoots. It's a great save, to be fair, to Kearns, but I've just followed in as any striker would, and I've just slotted into the bottom corner.
We can see it in your face. 4 from 4 now. I think it's your 5th of the season.
Yeah.
You must be, is this the form of your life? Do you feel just confident every time you get in the pitch now you're going to score?
100%. I'm in the form of my life, as you said, but it's down to the manager. The manager's giving me the belief. The team is feeding into what I want. You know, the long balls suit me, the pacing behind, but yeah, what was it, 4 for 4? It's unbelievable at the minute. I think I only scored 3 last year and 4 in the first 9 games, so it's unbelievable.
I have to ask you about this team that Kevin has created, because there wasn't much expected, I think, to be fair, at the start of the season. You're now top of the table at this point in the season. Is it fair to say the Drogheda are in the mix now for this title? Have you changed your sights? And
it's very early to say. You know, we're the underdogs, as everybody says, but you know, with the team that Kev's put this year, it's a great lads. Like, there's no moaning, there's no any of that. It's a great bunch. We get in the morning, we have a laugh, we do our work, and then I think it's shown on the pitch every week. But we're just happy to sit at the top after 10 games.
It certainly is shown. Congratulations on your goal tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
The underdogs, that feels like something that might catch on. But from Drogheda to Richmond Park, that's our next venue as we look at the match between Pats and Rovers tonight. Well, it was Stephen Kenny's side that took control of this one just after the half-hour mark. Mason Melia found himself free at the back post and finished that one nicely. But the lead was short-lived. Jack Byrne equalised for Rovers. He was quickest to react after Graham Burke's shot had been saved by Joey Anang. Well, after that, the game was only getting started, and the drama it delivered late on. Lee Grace in the 88th minute thought he had won the game with that header for Rovers, but in the dying embers, it was another header, this time for Pats. Joe Redmond rescued a point for the home side. 2-2 is how it finished at Richmond Park. At Derry City, we're out west to take on Galway United, and it was the visitors that took an early lead. Danny Mullins putting them ahead just after 17 minutes with that quick reaction. Galway got back into it just before the break. A long ball forward, and it was Pat Hickey on the end of it. Derry City, though, they roared into action in the second half. Robbie Benson restored the lead with a fantastic strike early in the second half. Galway were down to 10 men. A minute later, Cian Byrne sent off for a second yellow. Played the rest of the second half with 10. And new signing Gavin White extended Derry's lead deep into injury time. That looked to make sure of all 3 points. Well, there was something left in Galway. They never gave up, and in the 97th minute, they pulled one back through Vincent Boredom. But it was too little, too late. 3-2 to Derry, the final score. Dalymount Park next, and the only goal in that game between Bows and Cork City came with just 5 minutes remaining. It was James McManus that gave the home side all 3 points with that strike late on. A big win there for Bows. And our final match this evening is at the RSC between Waterford and bottom of the table Sligo Rovers, and despite a tough start to the season, John Russell's side took the lead in this one. Gareth McElroy finding the net. Things got even better for Sligo minutes later. Some nice build-up play. McElroy involved again. His perfect cross found the head of Owen Elding, and he got his 4th goal of the season. And it got worse for Waterford when Kyle White was sent off. Sligo piled on more misery. They made it 3 at the RSC just after the hour. Cian Kavanagh grabbing the goal to punish the error. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better for Sligo, well, it did. Fransley Lomboto rounding off a superb away performance for Sligo Rovers in what was a much-needed win. So confirmation then of all of tonight's results. That big win for Bows, doing plenty for them. It was 2-2, of course, in our live game here on Virgin Media 2 between Drogheda United and Shelbourne. A big win for Derry on the road too at Galway. 2-2 late drama at Richmond Road, and Sligo Rovers 4, Waterford 0. Here's what that all means then for the table. Well, it's very much as you were at the top. Drogheda still sitting pretty. Pats and Rovers just a point behind them, and Shells still 2 points off. I suppose there's only one place to start then. The result that really stands out tonight. What a performance from Sligo Rovers, and on the flip side, plenty of pressure now on Waterford. Yeah, huge win for John Russell and the Sligo team. Unfortunately, you flipped the script there, and that's 6 on the bounce now for Waterford. That's going to be a tough dressing room tonight. Have to pick themselves up, get themselves ready, because Monday's game is going to be so important for them now to kind of kick away, not get cut adrift at the bottom of the table. But John Russell will be delighted with that away performance. And quickly then, big win for Bows, much needed. Yeah, much needed. You did fear for Alan Reynolds the longer that Bowes kept going. And the disappointing thing with Bowes is I seen them in the Aviva the opening weekend. They were absolutely brilliant. The 2 centre halves, Cornwall, Mousset, the Devoy, but they've just been patchy, and it seems to have rolled in from last season. So good from Bowes tonight, but patchy overall. Yeah, there is something there though. Well, we are at time though. My thanks to Keith and Ian for their insight and their analysis tonight. A point in the rain for Shells is a good Friday. Drogheda is still top of the league. Well, that's a great Friday. Bye for now.